Testing, 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 testing. Ah, I fucked up. Damn it, I didn't want to do that. Wait.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little quiet. You might want to get your ball closer to your face.
My ball's closer to my face.
Yeah, are you still rocking that funky microphone?
I've had this microphone for 6 years.
Have I never noticed, or have I forgotten? Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've used this microphone for about 6 years.
Oh yeah. I must have forgotten. Are we like doing it right now? Are we doing the thing?
Yeah, it's live right now.
Wow. Hello, New York.
I just started it like a few minutes ago.
Beans.
Shit.
So what's like? I read your docket or whatever you call it, but
Oh, are you talking which thing you're talking about? Because this is just a pretty much like I do these live streams every year. This is pretty much anything goes type stream. I just stream till like at least midnight, and if people are still watching or if there's people still in the call, or if I have something to do, I'll continue till I'm done. But this is just New Year's, so every New Year's live stream is like this. It's just whatever happens, pretty much. So.
All right, but were there like a few topics you were hoping to get to? Because I read some sort of.
Are you talking about the thing?
I don't know how you
Yeah, I
blocked
did
this.
a live stream last night that only lasted a little bit. And
Oh, maybe I got confused on that. I don't know.
Yeah, last night, and I deleted it because I didn't really like it, and so I was just like, whatever. It didn't get much views, so I just deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes happens.
Fair enough. You curate your stuff.
Yeah, I pretty much curate everything except for for my streams. If they didn't get that much viewers, or it ended up not going as what I thought it was, then I'll delete it. But if it's a good stream or if a lot of people watches it, I'll keep it up. But
That's a criteria.
Yeah.
I'm I'm not going to give away a lot of information because I don't want to be invasion of privacy anybody or whatever. But I will just say that I'm not staying at my own home right now. I'm dog sitting for this Chester. He knows his own name. Say hi to Ash. Say hi to my gay friend Ash.
Hi, Chester.
And there's I'm not gonna say anything about the people. I'll just say that there's several Hillary Clinton biographies on the shelf. I count 3. It could be more. And I just wanted to share that Not being mean. I mean, look what I fucking brought as my own reading material. I'm just a different type
Nice.
of gay. That's all it is. So anyway, yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah.
what'd you do today?
What did I do
Can I just
today?
ask you that?
Uh, I I'm trying to think what I did do today. Hmm. I wouldn't say I did anything that super exciting
No, of course
today.
not. Most people don't. But what
Yeah,
did
no.
you do today?
Um, I watched. I did some home stuff I had to do, and
Like
then
what?
laundry and shit like that.
Do you like doing your laundry? I kind of like it, not because it's meditative, as Anthony Bourdain said, but it does feel satisfying. And it feels like you're in control more for me. What do you think?
I don't really like doing laundry. I don't.
No? You're not like you probably don't like chores in general. You probably are a little more like
Um.
itching for something heavier. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't really like chores. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do. I'm a woman though, so
I rewatched The Love Witch today.
mm. Still good.
Yeah.
I watched finally. Well, I watched two things finally. I'm sorry. I watched The Naked Kiss by Sam Fuller,
Mm.
which I thought was great, and I finally watched May December,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, it was good. I'm giving up my film critic career. My letterbox is from now on. It's gonna be. I'm probably just gonna put like what I was eating while I watched it, or like whatever was going on in my life while I watched it, because that's what I know about
I'm.
probably whatever I'm
Mine's gonna be the opposite
doing.
next year.
You're gonna go in depth.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to
You're
review
going all
every movie I've
Cahiers du
watched.
Cinema.
I'm gonna try to review every movie I've watched. Like actually in depth, not uh
Wow.
whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I I admire that. I mean, as you know from whenever we talk about movies, I uh usually when I talk about them, it sounds better when I'm just like saying whatever I fucking like was like just kind of feeling or the vibes. At
Mm-hmm.
least I think so, because I'm not much of a good critic, as you know. That's okay.
Yeah.
But
But
I think that film criticism, either professionally or just as a hobby, I think it's really admirable. Are you good at it? I haven't read that many of your like long form letterbox.
I think I'm decent at it. Uh I have to
Yeah, sorry.
I still haven't reached the goal yet. Because one of these days I have to sit down, but I haven't reached the goal yet, so that's why I haven't done it.
Mm.
Because I'm gonna write that book one day. What's the name of the book? And that's been a project that's I've had that idea. I've had it in my head since I was probably like 14 years old. I've had that idea, so it's been in my
I've heard about it. Like,
head.
I mean, realistically, not as long as I've known you. You haven't brought it up that much, but I've heard about
I
it.
don't
Like,
bring it up that much because it's not like I'm working on it or anything. But yeah, I have to reach my goal before I write it. My goal is
what's the goal?
ever since I got Letterbox, um, it's till I reach. I think it's either I have to reach. See on Letterbox the rating systems out of 5 stars, and they have so there's 4 stars and there's 4.5 and then there's 5,
Yeah.
and I have to reach either at least 1,000 movies under the 4 to 5 star category, or I have to get at least 5,000 movies watched on Letterbox. Watched movies.
I wonder what I'm at.
which I'm nowhere near the watch movie. I've seen a lot of movies in my life. The funny
Yeah.
thing, like I've seen so many movies that are not even logged in on my letterbox, but the thing is though, all the movies I pretty much like are logged in my letterbox. Pretty much.
Mm.
There really
I
isn't
do
movies
that
I don't
sometimes.
like that are not in there, but the um what was I gonna say about that? Something about the liked. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but the goal for I think like movies from like 4 to 5 stars or whatever, I think I'm like not that far off from that. Like I think if I watch a certain amount of movies that I give that rating by I think like the end of 20, I did like a math like into 2025 here in 2026 I'll reach it I think, but
Yeah.
yeah, if I'm consistent with it.
How many how
Because I
many
don't want to, because I have to have that goal because I don't want, because I know for a fact in my head I'm like I'm gonna discover like 100 more movies and it's gonna change my opinion on all, like I have to, I don't want to have an instance where like I discover all these movies I've never heard of and then I have to like rewrite everything, and so I kind of want it where I want to get to a point with my movie watching experience that I pretty much have seen like every type of genre, every type of notable director, and like everything because I haven't still
normal
to this point.
director? Like you mean like
Like
popular?
every director that's like have noteworthy in every like genre, there's sub era that's noteworthy, whatever it is. I want to get to that point where
Across
I
the
have opinion
globe?
on every, yeah. I need to
Mhm.
go. I need to get Quentin Tarantino level where I'm like I can, I've where I've it's almost like I've seen everything or almost like I can have a comment on everything and stuff. And so I'm still not on that level yet. I've seen a
Do you
lot.
now
I'm higher.
do
I'm
you
higher than most people, but no, I want to get to that like Roger Ebert. I've seen everything level almost. Almost want to get to
are
that
you
point.
has Roger I mean, do you think Quentin Tarantino has seen that like I don't
I
imagine
don't
him
think
like
he's seen that many modern movies.
stuff. Not modern movies.
Yeah, he's
I
seen
mean,
like every movie from the '70s though.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but also I don't see him watching a lot of experimental, like more from like Brad
No,
that Scott Barley guy, and I don't see him watching
no.
a lot of like 40s and 30s.
He says that he doesn't. He's never seen very many, like a lot of like popular, like franchisey type movies in the last 20 years. Like he said that he's never seen. Like he's never. I don't think I saw a video of him recently where he said he never saw Lord of the Ring, any of the Lord of the Rings movies. I think or something like that. But I was saying that he's not. I don't think he's seen that many modern movies. You could tell too because if you've seen his modern movies list, it's kind of like it's just casual stuff he's seen here and there. Like it seems like he doesn't sit down and watch these movies. He just like someone had it on their TV or was on TV and he just caught it and that was it. Like he doesn't really like sit down and watch a lot of modern movies. It seems like.
I mean, fair enough. I don't know if I do either, but I feel like he's good at just rambling about stuff he likes, but I don't think he'd be very good like in an actual conversation about stuff he likes. I feel like he'd shut down because like he doesn't have any like I got some in my teeth here. I feel like he doesn't really like to go explore things with other people.
Oh
If
yeah,
that
like you're
makes sense.
saying that. Yeah, it's more of like what he's interested in, not.
Yeah, which I
I mean,
mean,
I don't
that's
know if it's
probably what his directing is like. I don't think he probably takes a lot of notes from actors and DPs and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I
well.
don't know.
That's kind of the thing is though. Like that's kind of how I feel. I that's why I always say Quentin Tarantino. That's kind of the category I put myself in when it comes to film watcher. I feel like we're like the similar. We both no, we pretty much just both watch what we're interested in. We have oddly specific
Yeah,
interests in
yeah.
certain types of movies, and then we kind of branch off of that. But we don't uh go and like that's why like it's only recently where I'm actually kind of starting to um push myself to watch certain directors I've never seen before, and then kind of exploring their filmography, which I wouldn't before, that are considered noteworthy and stuff. But
Yeah, yeah. No, but I mean, like, well, I mean, I guess I agree with, or whatever, on all fronts or whatever. But I mean, I don't think that Tarantino is, I think he's probably a bad conversationalist, and I think that's a different
he's a very
thing.
one-sided conversationalist. If you watch anything with him, with other people,
Mm, yeah, yeah,
well, it's
uh,
funny because
yeah.
he likes breaking apart movies and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
explaining what works and what doesn't work. And but it's funny is he'll do that with like he'll talk about Switchblade Sisters in a very academic way, but then because I see his podcast that Roger Avery, I think he likes those movies. I would say Roger Avery is more of a I guess classic cinephile. He has more classic cinephile sensibilities. It's kind of the impression I get, and
Classic in the sense of
kind of
like what Scorsese and Bogdanovich
yeah,
watched.
he probably likes Kurosawa and like that kind
Okay,
of
yeah,
auteur sensibility. He likes auteurs probably. That's the
some
impression I
John
get.
Ford maybe.
Yeah, that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
yeah, I get the
Yeah,
vibe.
and he likes the stuff Quentin likes too. But yeah, I think that's more of what he likes. And he was uh on the pod. He was breaking apart when they talk about certain movies. He does the whole analyzing thing too, and and it's funny. And then Quentin's like, it was like to like Dress to Kill or something. He had some analytical anecdote about it, and Quentin's like, "Well, I think you're reading too much into the movie, or whatever." But then you'll watch a video where he's talking about um, Coffee, Pam Grier, and he talks about it in like an academic way, like it's
What does he say? Like when you say academic, do you mean
like
like
he
race
breaks it.
relations in
He
America?
analyzes the movie like it's a piece of literature, or like it's like how like literature critics and stuff like they
Well,
or, which you can, but it's just funny because movies that are a bit like higher, quote unquote higher art. He's just like thinks people are over analyzing these movies, but then he over analyzes like Coffee, Pam Grier.
I mean,
This is funny.
yeah, but I mean, I'm always glad when someone reads too deeply into
Yeah.
some schlocky thing. It make whoa, I just well, whatever. You're looking at the dog. I always like it when anyone does that because I don't like when things feel like kind of avoided. I don't know how else to put it, or like
Right. Well, I think
undervalued.
well that's what I like about Quentin is he doesn't um that's what I like about him. He's one of those people that acknowledges that there is that because he's a very big exploitation film guy. And yeah, a lot of the movies are trash, but there's a lot of them like he says that they should be a lot of them, he should be on the same pedestal as a lot of classic films and different things, and
I
a lot of
wonder
them
what
are
his
actually
reasoning
are very
is.
well made and stuff. But a lot of people kind of ignored it because back then when they were released, they were not
Well,
they were
they're
released in
cheaply
shitty
made
theaters,
too.
and kind of the critics didn't ignore them or just thought they were just trash, kind of without really giving it much thought. And so, um, yeah, I do like that with him in that aspect that he because a lot of people still to this day he's really like one of the only guys. Um, actually, him the only people I know that really do that are him and you probably got like um somebody like Rob Zombie or somebody that likes those movies. But what I'm talking about in that kind of the interest in those movies in a very let's say academic sense or like they are high art. It's him, and then there's also a Sean Baker is like that. Um,
I don't know that much about Sean Baker, really.
but Sean Baker, he's a fan of those movies. He puts them in on a pedestal. And, he's very open about.
Isn't he
Uh,
just like Abel Ferrara's boyfriend now or something? Doesn't he just talk about Abel Ferrara a lot or something? Or am I
Does he?
picking
I
up
don't
the
know.
wrong?
Sean Baker's the director of
I know he
Tangerine.
Florida Project and
Yeah,
Tangerine, yeah,
I
and
don't
Red
know.
Rocket, your favorite.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sound Baker's my with Robert Eggers. They're both my favorite filmmakers from the past. Well, Sean Baker has been making movies for like 25 years or whatever, but nobody
God, he
has seen
has,
his early
hasn't
movies. Nobody's has
he? Yeah.
seen his early movies, but they're both my favorite filmmakers from the past decade that have made movies with Robert Eggers. But
That makes sense. I love The Witch a lot, and I really like The Northman a lot too. But
I like all his movies a lot.
I've really kind of soured on The Lighthouse.
Really, I like the
Yeah.
Lighthouse movie. That's probably my favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't want him to maybe have I don't want him to do everything he wants to do sometimes. You know what I mean?
I
Sometimes.
think I get what you're saying.
Though I appreciate that the actors were miserable. Hopefully they were. I hope they were really fucking miserable. We need more miserable actors. And I
Yeah,
like that he kind of does that with his whole like I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna have these nails in the board be like the nails they were in 1848 in May.
you know who would rock hard in one of
Ooh,
his movies is
ooh.
Gallo. No, I think he would.
Honestly,
He'd be perfect. He's like
honestly, yeah.
filmmakers. Yeah.
I wonder is Gallo like does everyone say he's like an asshole on set all the time? Is he hard with directors? It probably depends on the director, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends. I think.
I wonder. He wouldn't like Robert Eggers. He'd think he was a pussy. I don't think that would be a work. I see
I
what you
could
mean.
see.
I think he could probably
I
like
could
fit
see
in one of
Gallo
those pretty
working with.
well.
I actually could see Gallo working with in a Sean Baker movie.
Well, Sean would be a pushover.
Yeah, Sean Baker's a Gallo fan. I know. He
Is
talks to
he?
him.
Has he like
Yeah,
given Gallo a shout out before?
yeah, he's done it quite a few times. I've seen interviews where he's mentioned some of his stuff, but
Thanks.
which I'm not surprised you watch Sean Baker movies and stuff. But I was saying Gallo would probably wouldn't mind working with someone like Sean Baker. You probably respect him a bit more. And also Sean Baker too. He has that Gallo that flexibility thing with the actors. That kind of
Oh
he
yeah,
likes shooting in real locations, like in people's real houses and stuff. That
like
kind
the
of
Brown Bunny style of
yeah,
just kind of like
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because a lot of Sean Baker's movies, he doesn't have sets. They're real places, but he likes shooting in real places that, like houses and stuff, but that are actually used, like being currently used. He likes doing that and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That I could see I could see the similarities. I just think that like Sean Baker, who to my knowledge is already kind of like a hands off, laid back kind of a director, like kind of lets
Yeah,
them do their thing, that kind of guy. And I think that Vincent would just like that because he probably just wants to ham sometimes. Like I think he Vincent likes to be an actor a little bit.
yeah.
Only I think he does it in it's a little more fun than like when like Sean Penn does it, you know.
Do you know that Gallo is a fan of the Safdie brothers?
Is he a fan? How do you know this?
Because well, this is from the Safdie brothers' mouths.
Right. Okay, then I know what you're talking about. I was hoping maybe he was like
I don't know
got
if he's a fan
asked
of all their movies though. He's just a fan of that one movie. He said
which
that
one?
the Daddy Long Legs. I guess Gallo went up to them,
Interesting.
congratulated them.
That's based. I'm glad that he watched that. I'm glad he watched it when they were just like, shitheads or whatever. Like,
Now Gallo needs to be. He'd be great in a Safdie brothers movie.
I mean, undeniably, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone
Imagine. I always
agrees with.
said this. I want a Safdie brothers movie with him and Shia.
Dude, that would
Really?
go so fucking hard though. But they can't because they got to be real careful because they got
Yeah,
that little like Me Too scare with their producer, that
yeah,
Sean Bear McLeod or whatever the fuck name was that.
yeah. They might not
Yeah.
get that. The funny is they might not get along. I could see them.
Gallo and Shia or
Yeah,
who?
Gallo and Shia, like their egos.
Gallo wouldn't.
Dude.
I don't know. That's so interesting because I mean I don't know. Shia's like a Catholic now, and he's like,
Okay,
that's okay. Do you not believe it or
but I
okay?
imagine it. But I guess if like Shia like 7 years ago or whatever, and Gallo would probably be a
Old
different story.
school fucking like pre or post Honey Boy Shia.
I guess pre, like when he was doing the performance art stuff.
He probably liked Shia. I'm sure he heard of him at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see
He
them as
yeah,
Boomer
they
together. I
yeah.
think that'd be perfect.
I think any time period with any of those two guys, they would probably have something interesting. I hope they'd have lots of scenes together.
Yeah.
I'd love that, honestly. Maybe they could play brothers. They kind of look a little bit alike.
Gallo would be like his dad, like dad.
Yeah, I guess so. How Gallo's
They're like
60 now?
they're like 25 years apart or something.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, I think Shia's like 37,
Yeah,
38.
Gallo's like six. I think he's 62.
Is he now? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds kind of right. Yeah. Well,
Gallo's
fucking.
actually a boomer, technically.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. Fine. I don't care. That's fine. But
He's
that's a
kind of
very
he's one
exciting
of he's
idea.
born in the he's he's a late boomer, so late boomers have more of a Gen X sensibility, even though they're
What
not
year?
always gonna. I think he's born in 61.
Mm.
Like he's kind of a late boomer. Like and a lot of them have like a Gen X sensibility.
What's the
Really,
cutoff?
it's 60. I think it starts in 64. Gen X.
Mm.
Kind of Quentin Tarantino is another one. He's a boomer. He has Gen X
How old
sensibility.
is Quentin? He's
He's
got to be right
60
around
now.
there, right?
He's
Hmm?
60. He's 60 now.
Damn.
But he's like that. He has that Gen X sensibility, but he's not quite Gen X. Obviously, like both of them are almost like you can tell a bit too old.
Yeah, but they were both pretty big with the Gen Xers, I think.
Yeah,
They were
you
probably
have
the
some
main
Gen X
demographic when they were
interests, but
first
they're
popping
not.
off.
Well, Quentin Tarantino, you can tell is not is kind of boomer because of like he talks about the stuff he grew up with and stuff. It's very boomer core, like Western TV, Bob Dylan music. He loves Bob Dylan. It's very boomer coded stuff.
Wouldn't like Bob.
Yeah, no, he loves Bob Dylan.
I didn't know that. I don't think I've.
I don't
Has
think
he
he's
ever
used.
put one
He's never
song?
used any of his songs as movies. I don't think.
Too busy
Um,
using that
but
fucking Bad and the Ugly score.
yeah, he needs to drop that. Come on,
I'd love
like
for him to.
Ennio Morricone has all the like the largest discography of all
We were
time.
talking about that last time.
And then
I
you
think he
pick
should fucking maybe he should get a fucking actual like new score or something for a movie.
Morricone
Wouldn't
did
that be
the
a novel
score.
concept?
Morricone did the score for the Hateful Eight, the original score. Well, it
Really?
wasn't original, really.
Right.
But he played. They recorded his orchestra and everything for that movie.
I mean, sure, but like maybe get someone to just write. And there are fucking like other like conductors and composers and shit like all around. And like I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. This is like fucking yelling at a brick wall, like saying Tarantino should try something new. But like it's so sad when a
His
director
next
just does
movie,
that.
better not have a violent ending
Um, I
because
hope
it's
so
not
too. I
supposed to be
hope,
that type of movie.
I
Because
hope
like
it's.
once upon a time in Hollywood, like the movie is like is normal, but then it has the Tarantino ending. I'm like,
I think
It's like
when I
it.
watched it when it came out, I
What
think it was.
I liked
Oh,
the ending when
that's
it came
cool.
out, but then when
What?
the more I watch the movie, the more I'm kind of like, really at the ending. Well, this is my
Not
issue
what
with the
makes it
movie too.
special. He doesn't
This is
always know like what like makes him actually special. He just kind of knows like what like people say make him special in a way.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
My issue with the ending too is the whole kind of like the morality aspect or the because his whole point is um
We shouldn't
w-
hero worship the Manson
yeah,
family.
no, it's more like, oh, we should like uh in this universe they are nothing, and Sharon Tate lives, and isn't this great and everything. But my issue with that ending is that it's funny because I think Mike Stacklasa from Red Media actually said the same thing as I did. He the ending too, like if you're watching the whole movie and like the build up to that final scene, uh, and if you know the whole Manson family lore or whatever, the build up to the murders and everything, if you compare both, it because the whole point is like, yeah, like I said, oh, we killed, oh, in this universe they're nothing, and that Sharon Tate lives, is it, and everybody lives happily ever after. But like the funny thing is like, um, so yeah, I guess in this universe the Tate and LaBianca murders don't happen, but um, Mr. Tarantino, what about Bobby Beausoleil, who killed Gary Hinman before the Tate murders? What about this person? Is Gary Hinman in this universe who nobody knows about? Is he not worth living, surviving in this universe? Like, that's my issue with the ending. It's as this moral aspect, because it's like, oh, so this person's worth living, but this person, I guess, is not in this universe, and like, you know, that's why I think the ending's kind of dumb, because it's like it's a very tricky thing. It's like when you do that, like the alternate history, it's like, well, okay, so this person's worth dying, but this person isn't. Like, kind of, I don't know. It's
It
like
it does complicate it. I'll give
yeah,
you that. Um, I don't know if it necessarily. I mean, before anything else, I should say that I think the ending is kind of asinine at worst and
yeah,
a bit underwhelming at best.
yeah.
But I think that I don't necessarily think it complicates like what it is trying to do with that, though I do understand the criticism. I think that the overall whatever message and New Year's resolution, I won't use this word anymore, but vibe of what it was trying to like, like conjure up. I think that it lands more or less still. That's just my take. I don't know. I should watch it again, really, because I haven't seen it in a long time. Is it free
Uh,
anywhere? I'm not gonna buy that shit. I'm not
it's
gonna rent it.
I own it actually, but um what was it? Well, Mike Sikolas at Red Letter Media review. And this is when the movie came out. They reviewed it. He said something really funny. He said that if you're going by the film's universe, all the characters are following the logic of the
Mm-hmm.
universe, and if you follow all the events at the ending when they go into Leonardo DiCaprio's house instead of the Tate house and blah blah blah. If you follow the series of events and the all if you listen to all the dialogue and everything building up to that point, Mike Scalasa made a funny point. He said that um, the hit actually the Manson family did not actually do anything wrong in the film's universe because they never ended up killing anybody, and that also, in the movie, they never said that they're going to Sharon Tate's house. They just said that they're going to a house in the Hollywood Hills, and they just end up at Leonardo DiCaprio's house, and they come there with knives, but they don't really know what they're doing. But while they're there, not knowing what they're doing, they ended up just like getting killed by them, and that in the film's universe, yeah, you could say they're premeditated murderers, but they're really not as like evil in the film's universe in a way. You could almost say that Brad and Leo are actually the psychopaths almost,
That's
and
kind of funny. Yeah,
yeah, it's yeah,
I see
yeah.
that. I can see that. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. And of
Well, most
course,
of the time,
Roman
Hollywood's just
doesn't
made
rape that
movies.
little girl in the future because he's still married to Sharon. And as
Yeah,
we
that's
know,
another
he
thing
never
too.
fucked around behind her
That's
back.
another thing too. There's a lot of
Was a good
stuff like
husband.
that, which is like you have to think. I've thought about that when that movie came out. I thought about that. I was like, this is a bit weird. So that happens, and like I said too, it's like okay, so the Gary Hinman murder still I guess because that happened before the Sharon, so that happens. I guess in this universe still. I guess his. I guess he's not worthy of living in this film's
I mean,
universe. It's just like a
really, I
weird.
don't think Quentin knows about any of the Manson stuff. I don't think
I
that's
think
really his point of interest.
I think he knows a lot, but he's
You
just.
do?
Oh yeah, yeah. He knows. He's potentially leaving out certain things, and well, this is what I think.
I never heard him
I
speak
think
out
he
about
does
that.
want to. I think he really does want to geek out on that stuff, but he gets in his head like you were talking about. He knows what the audience wants and stuff. He does not want to um geek out too hard. That's the impression I get of all of his movies. He's geeking out, but he doesn't want to geek out too hard, and so he restrains himself
Well,
by
he
like
geeks out on the wrong shit so much.
yeah.
Be it like fucking that Ennio Morricone score or the fucking
I think in his head he wants to
Kung
use a
Fu
different score, but
Zoos.
he uses that because he's like, well, that's what people recognize, so I'll use
I
that.
don't know. I don't even know if it's so much that's what people recognize. I think it's more like that's 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 what I do. That's what's special about me. That's what's you know. That's what cool about Quentin. You know,
Mm.
and I God, it's got to be sad as an artist to just kind of do that. You know, I look at his films and I get sad because it's just like
Yeah, yeah. It's I
you
always say
you've done this your whole life and you've
it's one.
worked in this craft and this medium your whole life and all you seemingly want to do is just like kind of like do these like genre
He could,
pastiches
he could. That's the thing. All his movies,
sprinkled in with like
every
some
movie you watch of
emphasis.
his, he's like, wow, this. Every movie you watch of his, you're like, wow, this movie could go way harder, or like this movie could,
Yeah,
like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It makes that movie. I think it's a good movie still, but every time I watch it, in my
yeah,
head, I'm like, this should be the best movie ever made. There's no excuse. This has the recipe for everything, but he just somehow.
that's
It's
well
like with
put.
every. That's what all his movies are. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in general, like this is the recipe for like the greatest movie ever made, in my opinion. It has the recipes of everything, but he just. It's like if he like. It's like somebody's like cooking or something that you're like, oh, this sounds good, but then when you eat it, you're like, this is good, but there's something missing. You take a bite out of it, you're like, like there's something not right. Everything's like that. There's like maybe you should use a different sauce instead of this. Like there's always something with his movies,
Right,
like just
right.
off. Yeah, like
Yeah. I think that of the movies he's done that are like closest to that, I think Pulp Fiction works best as far as ones that he like kind of moved away from it a little bit more. I think Jackie Brown and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood work best. Does that make sense?
I think his later movies get more. I feel more convoluted and stuff. I think his earlier movies are a lot more tighter. Uh, like his first three movies, I think are pretty tight for the most part. Like
What's
there's
that?
not um
Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and then
Reservoir.
Jackie?
Like I was even gonna say Reservoir Dogs. That's his shortest movie. That's a tight movie. Like it's he the way it's structured and everything, the way the pacing, it's gets to the point. It's not doesn't really drag that much. It's very Tarantino, has all the Tarantino's, but it's only like an hour and a half or something, I think, and you know, it doesn't really convolute itself. It's a pretty basic movie. Doesn't
Mhm.
Pulp Fiction's a little too long, but it gets it the whole idea, the concept of the movie is executed pretty well. It's
I'd agree.
and then Jackie Brown is structured pretty. I have issues with Jackie. I'm not a Jackie Brown fan.
Oh,
I think it's a good movie. Um I just think it's kind of whatever
you
to
know,
me.
it's kind of not bad though. I want to say Chris Tucker. All right, continue. I watched Dead Presidents, and he was good in that. All right, continue. Sorry.
But Jackie Brown is um the way it's structured, and so it's not convoluted or anything. It's how like Kill Bill and on is when they started throwing too much in this movie.
Mm,
There's Tarantino doesn't work best when he like starts throwing in a bunch of things, throwing too much cooks in the kitchen and stuff. Like Once
yeah,
Upon a Time in Hollywood, like I could easily like re-edit that movie, and I'm just gonna say this too. What was even the point of the Manson stuff in that movie? Like really, like what is the actual point? Like, it just feels kind
I
of
like.
pointless.
I like. I don't. I like all the. I like the sharing stuff.
Why? That's what I'm saying. You could have the Sharon Tate stuff still, but it's like, what is the point of? Why is Charles Manson even in it for
It
35
would have
minutes?
been
Why?
interesting, actually, if he did kind of just
I said too, if you went more,
avoid the Manson stuff. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, it would still be like the Manson stuff would be on the audience's mind,
mm-hmm.
but it would be kind of interesting to just be like, just have it be like sort of a question. He doesn't like having just like questions or
Yeah,
like odd like things just kind of floating around. He doesn't do that. He either wants to go all the way fucking in with it in his own sort of neutered way, or like he wants to just kind of scrap it all together or run past it as quick as possible, at least.
yeah.
You know,
Or I said too, at least if he had the man stuff, went really hard with it. It should have been almost like the whole movie. That was like a essential part, but it's really not a really essential part of the movie. But uh,
do you like the stuff on Spawn Ranch though?
um, I have a lot of issues with that. Well, I have a lot of issues with the movie. My issue is um a lot of, not just the Swan Ranch or anything. It's just in general the portrayal of a lot of the real people in the movie. It's just I don't really like any of the.
Do you like Lena Dunham in it?
I mean, she's whatever in it, but I don't I don't like any of the portrayals of like the real life people in the movie. Really, I mean, yeah,
Did
I
you get
or it's just
upset at the
everyone.
Bruce Lee stuff?
It's not like the guy. He doesn't do a bad Bruce Lee impression, but it's kind of that was another scene that's like, why is that even in this? Like, it's just, oh
I
look,
it
it's
feels
Bruce
like a
Lee.
fucking cartoon, and
Yeah, it's
it's
just
like you just want him to like be like make a movie for big people, Quentin. You know,
yeah.
like I don't need to see fucking Bruce Lee.
Oh look, it's
Like
Steve
it's
McQueen in the back. There's that Steve McQueen.
the Steve McQueen things, kind of
I would
whatever.
say
I
the best portrayal in that movie, I think, is actually the guy that plays Roman.
I knew you were gonna say that. It is pretty funny to see him just like fucking rock his shit in that suit. It is
But
pretty
he
funny.
did a good job, I actually thought. For sure, even the look, he's like the right height. Everything's
Yeah, but
yeah,
like also it's just like it's literally one shot, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, I'd be curious to see like a Roman Polanski like fleshed out portrayal kind of.
yeah.
But whatever for what it is, it's very funny. It's a good sight gag, which is basically all it is. But yeah.
Well, everybody in the movie, that's my issue. Everybody's the real life. They're all cartoony. Everybody, the Spawn Ranch people are too cartoony. Like they're not even. It's not even how they like. I feel like too like um the way the girls, the specific girls act. I'm like,
Who
they
does
don't even
Margaret
act like
Qualley
their
play?
personalities. It's like, did you like like I'm thinking like Quentin like got them confused and like wrote them all wrong because like their personalities do not, and you like he screwed up on that. Like he almost or changed. I feel like he
That's what
intentionally
makes me think
changed.
he's not like that into it.
No, he's not.
at least not into the whole like broader world of it.
He's not. He's not a man. He said on Joe Rogan that, oh yeah, I did all this research on Manson. No, he didn't. He
Maybe like the wiki page in a few videos or something.
yeah, that's what he did because uh yeah uh now this is what I've heard from I don't know if this is true or not, and he doesn't know if this is true or not either. But uh uh I've heard this on Facebook. I've heard it on YouTube videos because I'm in the Manson research Facebook group thing. Supposedly well, Nicholas Strickland because he thinks Tarantino knows more, actually knows a lot, but he's intentionally like um, not throwing in certain things, and he claims that he's no because he knows people that know Tarantino, and so he says that that there Tarantino does know a lot about Manson or just that that Hollywood scene and stuff in general of that time period, but he intentionally did not put a lot of stuff in there, or he just didn't do it in general because he didn't want to like alienate the audience, like quote unquote confuse, like they wouldn't get the
Like,
reference. It's like so you had to put in like Bruce Lee because everybody knows who Bruce Lee is and like stuff like that, like
right.
normie tier, like
That's so lame. Like, and I mean, I wasn't pissed off about the. I mean, one because I don't know that much about Bruce Lee. I like what I know about.
I consider
I'm
myself
not like I couldn't. What?
I'm a Bruce Lee. I would say admirer. I'm not gonna say fan, but because I'm not a fanatic of Bruce Lee, but I'm admirer of Bruce Lee.
Sure. I like. I thought he had a positive patrol because when he's an asshole, the character's having some whatever dream or some shit. And when he's nice, it's when he's like in like flashbacks with Sharon, like teaching her karate and shit. I
Yeah,
would have liked to see more fucking karate lessons with Bruce Lee and
yeah,
Sharon
yeah.
Tate.
Well,
Like
in
that
real life,
sounds interesting.
they knew each other in real life,
Yeah, her,
and
Roman, and
Roman
him were
and
like
Bruce Lee
friends.
shouted out in the Tenant,
Yeah, exactly.
and the
He was
Tenant. Have you ever caught this on the Sharon scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is straight up just a visual homage from the Tenant. It's shot the same way as the theater scene. It's the
interesting. Okay, I
yeah.
kind of see that a little
No,
bit.
it straight up is. I've seen the side by side.
You
It's
seen the
straight up
side by
like the
side?
same.
If
I've
you
seen
ever
it
come across
from
that again, send that to me. I'd be curious to see the side by side.
uh
Um,
yeah. I don't. I'll have to find it, but
that's
yeah.
that's cool. I want more fucking. It's
And
like
it's straight up a ref because remember in the theater scene, that's when she gets the Bruce Lee flashbacks. Is when she's sitting in the
right, yeah. Which is kind of that's an interesting kind of multi-layered thing there, actually. Um,
and some people theorize too. This is in the this has been theorized for years though, but that because the glasses that that were founded in the Tate house that were kind of damaged or whatever, um those and they didn't know who it belonged to. They found out I think those I think the glasses were, I could be wrong. I thought it was because it might have been somebody else's, but it definitely came from Bruce Lee's house. I think it was either Bruce Lee's glasses or somebody glasses. It came from actually came from the Bruce Lee house, and some people believe that things like that
Bruce Lee was
either
involved. I've heard that.
not involved, but like he um showed up there at night, or that he knows something. I don't know, but the glasses are confirmed from the Spawn Ranch. They're planted. there because it's actually confirmed that well, it is confirmed that it is from Bruce Lee's house, but it's also confirmed that after the murders happened early in the morning before anybody found the bodies that because it is true that Manson went to the house and he moved some bodies around and he planted the glasses as a false clue to the police, which is confirmed. And so, but some people ask where he even got the glasses. How did he even obtain them? But that's is the main mystery. Like, how did he?
That is very interesting. I'd rather watch a
Yeah,
fucking movie about that than like fucking playtime Bruce Lee, like Brad Pitt fight. I don't know. That shit bugged me though. That shit always kind of bugged me. That's
but
the
there's a
weird.
lot of things. Marla Cass, and this is public knowledge. She, who's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Her,
Is she?
yeah, she, because Marla Cass claims to have she, and this is public knowledge, to have she came
Yeah.
across the bodies first, and that she got scared and told everybody, but then she didn't call the police or anything. Then the one that did was their maid or whatever.
This is like on paper confirmed,
Yeah.
like
Well, she
in
said it
legal
herself, and all of
documents.
her friends have said that's what she was told. She told them. Now
Yeah.
it could be made up too. Um, she could have made it up, but yeah, she said it. I guess all her Hollywood friends say that. That's what she said.
Well, that's very interesting. I
But
mean,
yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff with. That's why I kind of got obsessed with it because there is a lot of really weird um stuff. I don't think it's the popular thing now is the popular Reddit theory now is that people think the CIA was involved.
you don't buy any of that?
No, I don't buy that at all.
Not at
I
all,
don't
or
buy any
just
central intelligence or no, I don't buy that. I buy the theory that it's purely underworld criminal and seedy Hollywood activities. I buy that.
that is probably as far as the story goes, probably a little more
To
interesting.
me, that seems more plausible and realistic than the CIA
Uh,
somehow did
I mean,
things.
I maybe. I mean, I guess we know the CIA has done some just kind of let's try this out sort of shit. So, I mean, I don't know if I'd
I
be
because they
opposed
all
to
had
the
connection. The
theory.
thing is, they all had connections with each other, and they um
I
uh
mean, everything's connected with everything in
everything's
LA.
connected, but there's so much drug dealing and things with certain mobs and things like that that it seems purely. That's why I said purely underworld crime related, not um and Manson. All of them were involved in the criminal underworld. You have to look at that aspect. So I don't think it has anything to do with the CIA. Really, I think that's far fetched.
Um, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta say though, I really want you to write a book or do something with all that knowledge you've accrued.
No,
I want you to do something.
I need to write I need to write the script already. It'll take a long time,
The
but
script, yeah. I want you. Yeah, I still really like want you to do that.
I did
I
begin writing it
I've
for
thought
like two
about like
pages, and I like completely got distracted.
that idea is good because like I'll like sometimes I'll just like be like whatever daydreaming like yada
Well,
yada,
sometimes I
and
think
I'll like think about that
I
specific
think it
like
has to be.
idea.
I actually think at this point it'd have to be. You'd have to do like a series. I almost think it's beyond movie. There's just too much
Would
stuff.
you go like Berlin Alexander plots length or like an actual like seasons like
Probably not that many seasons, but kind of
uh-huh.
mini series type thing. Like, it would have to.
Would
There's
you
just too much
consider like
stuff.
a
I have to go all out. Like this would have to be. You know how Kubrick had Napoleon.
Uh-huh.
This would be mine, like Napoleon.
This is your
Yeah.
Napoleon. Yeah.
Yeah, he got so obsessed where he had like file cabinets and stuff. There's those stories of just him detailing
Honestly,
stuff.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. I think you should
because I want to include everything, like everything, pretty much. Like
I
even
really
like
yeah.
little stories, like just I want to include all that little thing.
Is that a what's it called? Thriller something what shirt do you
Oh
have on?
yeah. Speaking of Tarantino, that's funny. We're talking about Tarantino. I forgot I was wearing this because he ripped us off
Thriller.
in Kill Bill. The eye
Yeah.
patch. Daryl Hannah, the eye
That's a
patch chick.
that's a
Ripped
base
it.
shirt though. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um
It's funny
anyway.
actually. Every time I wear this shirt, it's not a conscious decision. I always talk about Tarantino to somebody, and every time I do, in the middle of the
It's
conversation,
got
I have to
the
go. I have to hold it up. He ripped this off. I have to do that.
it's got the magic on it. The fairy dust.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll work. There is two um. This is interesting since we're talking about Manson stuff. There's two separate documentaries coming out. One is by the way, the one this one just ignore it because it's gonna be gay and not. It's gonna be one of those documentaries you watch it and you're like, it's over with, and you're like, well, what was the point? There was no actual point to this. I've never
Mm.
seen it, but I know it's gonna be like that. That Tom O'Neill guy that wrote the Chaos book. I guess they're making a Netflix thing based on
Ah,
that book, and
well,
but
fuck it.
it leaked, or well, I guess he came out and said like all the people interviewed are just like journalists, people that have nothing to do with it's just like it's gonna be one of
Hmm.
those documentaries where it's like so and so from something.com. Yeah,
Right.
in 1968, people were crazy, and then the documentary ends, and you're just like with a question, and you're just like, oh, okay,
um,
that's it. It's gonna look
I've
gay.
sworn off Netflix original content.
It's definitely probably gonna get a lot of attention though. I have a feeling it's gonna
It's
get
gonna get wet.
a lot of attention. But people are gonna be talking about it. But there's another documentary in the works. Uh, and I'm actually kind of excited for it. Nicholas Rex making another documentary. He was the director. He did Charles Manson Superstar in the '80s, and he's making a documentary himself. It's funny at the same time as Tom O'Neill, his arch nemesis. Even though they knew each other back in the day, now they're enemies. Where
The
he's kind of
girls
vague
are
about
fighting.
it. He's not really saying what it's about. It's Manson related, but it might not even be about the case really. But he's interviewing all the people. He's been posting pictures. His Facebook. Yeah, it's pretty much like people that either knew Charlie or um some people that are either involved or
I've never
different
seen it. What
things.
was Charles Manson Superstar about?
Oh, you should watch. That's actually a good
Yeah.
documentary. It's that one. Nicholas Shrek made it in the '80s. It's mostly a long interview with him, so it's just a long interview. It's his best interview by far. Like if you really want to, like it's for the people out there that want to know more about Manson, like himself and stuff. You should watch that documentary. You learn a lot from him, his philosophy, his view on things, and
Hmm.
things like that. You get a really good sense of like his character and stuff, and there's a lot of really funny moments. Yeah,
I think
but it's kind of half. You can watch it on YouTube. There's the interview with him unedited, where it's just the interview. But I'd prefer you people to watch the full actual movie. In the movie, it's kind of half biography, sort of. Uh, but I really like it.
interesting.
It's really good. But I'm kind of excited for um,
Good as a
I have a
maker.
bit of a bias because I talk to him on Facebook here and
Is
there
he?
and stuff. He but I'm excited for Nicholas Sparks documentary. I'm kind of glad he's uh you know taking another shot, like making it, because that's like his last like film project since the '80s. So I'm kind of curious what he's gonna
That's what I was
make
asking.
now. And I'm
Stuff.
curious because he's going to interview people that, I was saying, he knows Charlie or people involved or no. So it's actually like significant people he's talking to, and a lot of the people too are people I've been interviewed in the past, but have not been talked to since the '80s and stuff. So that's why this is kind of interesting for like if for like the Manson uh, fanatics or researchers or whatever. This is a really like kind of a cool project for all of us. And so I'd watch that. I would not watch the Netflix thing because it's like, who are these people? Like, who gives a fuck about these people?
But wait, I don't know. All I know is that he's like knows a lot about it. I don't. Is he like
Oh,
a
he wrote a
documentarian?
book. He wrote well, he has a book, The Manson File, but the he's rewritten it. He has different editions, and he's finally done with it. The first one's from the late '80s, and uh, the last edition that just came out this year. I've always wanted to buy it, but I always plan on buying it. This edition, but I heard that he's having shipping issues right now. So because he lives in Germany and there's something weird that the shipping, so that's why I didn't ended up buying it and stuff. And if you buy old copies, there's like hundreds of dollars on eBay and stuff, and so that's why I never want to buy it. But the Manson File, I believe it is the same length as the Bible. It's the same like thousands. And Manson File too. It doesn't just talk. There's a lot of Charlie talk and stuff, but it's he gets into like everything, like even stuff with Polanski. That's why I was really interested in a lot of stuff about Polanski. He gets into um, just like dense research, like dense, like of all these people and stuff. And so yeah, and people do joke and say it's like the Bible, all this stuff, because it literally talks about like everything in fucking detail. And but yeah, he's researched. He's had an interesting life. He's famous for that, but uh, yeah, he was kind of famous for marrying Anton LaVey's daughter. And what's that?
They're not still together, right?
No. And
He's
he was famous on the. He used to always appear on TV shows in the '80s and early '90s about Satanism and stuff. Um, and he makes music.
is he wasn't he? Didn't he become a Buddhist? Right.
Yeah,
I always like hearing about the when the Satanists, the early Satan people grow up and they usually just become Buddhists. Have you noticed?
yeah. Well, he has
Yeah.
videos talking about it. Where yeah, he just kind of grew out of it. He said is because it's like saying is he said it was not satisfying. It's just kind of a depressing philosophy and lifestyle. But he's had an interesting life. He's known pretty much every like famous person in the 20th century. Like he's known everybody. Charles Manson. He was gonna write a book about Richard Ramirez. He met with him. Obviously his son-in-law Anton LaVey. He made music with Christopher Lee. Uh, he um, he's known so many because he was in L.A., so he knew a lot of people. There's videos
Uh-huh.
where he talks about like he's like yeah. It's funny. He's known everybody. There's a video. He's like, yeah, I've met the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is weird. It's funny. He just does that, like, just yeah. But yeah.
Well, that's cool.
But the one of the main people that were interviewed for the Manson file is uh what's his name? That's why his book's very credible because he actually interviews people that are actually involved or new people. He interviewed Gene Katowski. Do you know Gene Katowski?
That sounds
If
pretty
you're a Polanski fan,
familiar.
you should know who Gene Katowski is. He's the guy that
Oh,
produced a lot of his movies and stuff.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I know. Is he? Wait, is he? He's friends with him, or he's talked to him, or what?
I well, he was really Gene Katowski was really he's dead now, but he was really close friends with Polanski back in the
Right.
day, even especially that era. But I don't know if they had a falling out or not, or they were still friends because he interviewed him like in the '90s, actually. Yeah, so yeah, the '90s. But uh,
Pertaining to Roman side of things
Roman, the Manson
and
stuff.
Sharon, or
Yeah, because supposedly the story is Nicholas Shrek was friends with or knew who was it? Somebody in film. I'm trying to remember the name. Some
the
director. I don't
that
remember. And this is a guy that I don't think knows Polanski very well, or I could be wrong. This director I'm thinking of, but he knows Gene Katowski, and they were having a lunch in L.A. or something. And, he told them, they're talking about like, Nicholas Sharp's like, yeah, I'm writing this Manson book and stuff, and blah blah blah. And then this guy's like, he's like, oh, you should talk to Gene Katowski because he's like, he was friends. Like I'm friends with him. Um, he's actually in town right now. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to him or whatever, because he knows a lot about Polanski and stuff, and or he's sort of friends, close friends with him. So, and then he talks to him, and Gene Katowski was very open about things, like not shying away from even things with Roman or Sharon, like even weird personal stuff, and told him about uh and he said he told Nicholas Sturgestref, he's like, yeah, this is not what you heard about. Well, his phrase, and he says what you heard about in the papers, because he's kind of an older guy, so he says, what you've heard about in
cute.
the papers or whatever. He's like, yeah, none of that's real. That's what he's told him. And Nicholas Shrek was kind of he said he was taken aback because he was always kind of going off of what we. He even said he was kind of skeptical of things, but he kind of was still kind of for the main narrative. And then he said that the encounter with Gene Katowski is what kind of made him relook at the whole thing and like kind of changed his opinion and stuff. And and Gene Katowski said that it was he said in his own words, a drug deal gone wrong. That's what he said it was. And
Really?
yeah, and Gene Katowski told him, and this is true because if you follow the editions of the books, he said he wanted to remain anonymous, and he said only until I'm dead. And then, uh, but the funny thing is, if you know a lot about Roman Polanski and different things, you could piece together who it is. Like, oh, a producer who was friends with him. It's like, oh, it's Gene Katowski. Like, who else would it be too? But if you're saying like skeptical about it, but and yeah, and so Gene Katowski, and then that's when he went down a rabbit hole and like talked to like a bunch of people, and he confronted Charlie about this stuff. Like, this is what he told me and stuff, and Charlie was either was like, yeah, that's true, or he's very vague, kind of like, oh, I'm not, or like would do his little wordplay thing, like, he's not direct, he's very indirect, like, I'm not going to tell you what, but then some things he admitted, but some things he didn't, and then, and yeah, and so nobody knows the whole entire truth, but
Sure. I mean, I wonder just how
at this
much.
point,
How does Katowski it is?
yeah, Gene Katowski.
How was he saying he was there? How do we know?
Yeah, he was friends with him at that, very close friends, and
No, I know I know, but like,
he wasn't at the house, but they definitely talked. He said they talked on the phone when he got the news and stuff. Like
well,
he was that close
like,
friends. But
oh, by the way, Sharon's buying us some cocaine for when I get back or something, or like, how do we know like it was a drug deal?
now there's also other sort. I wouldn't be here too long, but there's. I mean, well, actually, we have all night, but there's other sources too besides Gene Katowski. But yeah, he pretty much I think he said that Rowan just mentioned something. I don't think he said it like that, but here's the thing though. This is what people are like, what? This is what kind of Tarantino kind of left out in this film. And Tarantino, if you talk to Tarantino about this, he'd be like, no, they didn't. They, come on. Yeah. He'd do that. That's how, yeah. But
Yeah, yeah.
here's the thing, because people are like drug dealing. Here's the thing. This is the swinging 60s. This is the time period. Also, this is the time period now. Sorry, but Hollywood people do draw. It's a normal thing. Nobody thinks anything of it. Like, oh, you got coke on you? Okay, cool. Like, there's nothing seedy. There's nothing like dark and mysterious, like dark about it. It's just whatever. Like, yeah, of course
Sure.
they did psychedelic. Of course they did that. But like, they're just partying. They're having fun. Like, there's no um, because I've heard people say it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, but it's like, why not? It's a Hollywood
It's
whatever.
not. I don't know. It's
They're having
Sharon's
a
that's
good time.
doing it,
There,
but
there's
like
nothing like dark
there were
about it.
other people there who weren't pregnant.
Right, and
Also,
so
I don't know.
that's a funny thing you mentioned that. I never really thought about that, but the whole pregnancy thing. But yeah, there was even back in the day of people would smoke when they had babies and stuff.
I
So,
think that Sharon was probably pretty. I believe
oh,
that part.
Sharon. Well, this is what.
Maybe I
Yes,
uh
because I would get into
whatever.
that because Sharon Tate is actually most people they get
She's a
into.
whore. What were you gonna
Well,
say?
she was, but the I mean, I'm calling a spade a spade. She
I know.
was. This is
It's
confirmed
fine.
public knowledge. She was,
There's
but
nothing wrong with
uh,
her like getting some dick or whatever.
everybody has said, um, well, everybody, as in, I guess you could say Gene Katowski, but Manson, um, Tex Watson, all of them, they straight up said that, and that she was. They always said she wasn't supposed to be there. They always said that she wasn't supposed to be there. They were kind of implying that she was not pretty much done with that stuff, or kind of not like probably the
That,
motherhood. Like she's not, and that's another interesting thing too. It's like that's the thing because people when they watch these videos, they don't really like analyze certain things, and that's the problem with a lot of like the true crime community. It's a lot of people that like shock value and things, but they don't actually analyze things or think about psychology of these certain killers and stuff. But the thing about the interesting thing about the case too is they always say she wasn't supposed to be there. That's also another thing.
mhm.
They always say that she wasn't supposed to be there. And the funny thing is they made a big deal that because she was killed, that they always imply they, as in the media, Boogie Losi and stuff, that the main reason why they were there was because of Sharon Tate. They always make that big deal, like that's the reason. And so, which is not true. They all say that Tex Watson, who even straight up killed her, I think. Well, yeah, Tex Watson did straight up kill her, but um, I think he even said that she was supposed to be there. It's funny because he killed her, but he, I'm saying even to that point that
Yeah.
this is kind of interesting. You kind of have to think like, what do they mean by that? Why was she
Do they
not
mean?
supposed to be there? But and this is actually confirmed now. That Jay Sebring, her ex boyfriend. Actually, I think they were still dating and probably fooling around with each other, even when she's still with Roman and stuff. Jay Sebring, um, he was a hairdresser and was
Right.
very prominent. He cut so many celebrities' hairs and things. He was actually out of his hair salon. He was selling drugs out of his salon. Now, again, I'm trying to get to the point here is yeah, you could say it's seedy, but it's not like a dark, mysterious like. It was just
People
it
do
was just
drugs.
like this, like oh hey, like when they're cutting their hair, like exchanging money. Oh, here's a little extra. They probably didn't even say anything like give me a bag of something like, and
Right.
that was just the time, and that stuff still goes on now. That's not. So there's Hollywood people that do drugs even to this day, like do the same. It's nothing weird. It's not even that weird or anything. It's just whatever, and so um, and Wojtek Frykowski, um, he did some of that stuff apparently. And this is from a lot of not just Manson, but a lot of even other people. I guess Nicholas Direct talked to in the underworld and some other people that Wojtek. There's an incident with um, it was not Tex Watson, but I think it was one of his friends or something that he was one of his friends was selling something to Wojtek and like
Oh dear. Hey, wait. Can you hear me? Your audio just cut out.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
My microphone plugged out. There was no I wasn't being shut down. But the supposedly I've heard this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, apparently a few people said this, including Manson, that Wojtek supposedly raped a drug dealer. That new Tex Watson or something like, was friends with. He raped, not like straight raped. Like, isn't that fucking weird? And but it
Uh,
wasn't just Charlie that said it. I guess a couple other people he talked to said, he's like, yeah, like they
Wait,
said
so he
he
like,
raped.
assaulted like some drug dealer guy,
He
just a
ripped him
random.
off, and then uh no, nobody.
Ri-
He said nobody knows. He didn't really get the context, but he just said that that's what they said. They always said that, yeah, he and that he, I guess, raped a guy, drug dealer guy. But there's not much context. But it's just they. Who knows if it's true? It could even just be hearsay, and Charlie's little sir. It could just be like hearsay. Like, who knows? Like, but that's what they said. This he raped a drug dealer. I don't know.
I mean,
It's
I
pretty
don't
random. That's the
avoid.
thing too. There's certain things too that, because even Nicholas Rick, uh, um, he said in the podcast, he's like, I don't even know the full truth on all this stuff. I'm just saying what these people have told me and stuff. And he said that, but there's a lot of weird stuff like that where you're just like, what, like,
I'd take it
and
with a grain of salt, maybe.
there's a grain of salt, but then there's also like, it sounds so random that it might be true. Like, if that's
Sure.
that random, like,
But what does that have to do with exactly? Like, was it
well, that's what I was
retribution?
saying too. That um, well, I have to go pee. I'll talk about that, but it's just interesting because he said like Charlie, who just casually, it was just nonchalant, like, yeah, he raped like just seems nonchalant about it, like, yeah, he did that, like it's a known thing, like he kind of talked about, like, yeah, it's known, we know, like we don't know the public, but it's just funny. He's just kind of a nonchalant. He's in his own little world, so he's like, yeah, that happened. Like, it's not a huge deal. It's like, yeah,
I
but this is a random thing too, because I think he was asking him about Wojtek or something, and that's when he just came out and said that. I don't know the full detail. I would have to have him on here, Nicholas Schreck. I know that. I don't think he wants to come on here, but yeah, because I've talked to him about it. But yeah, I'll try again. I need to try again, and it's almost
yeah.
been a year since I asked him, but yeah, but I need to go pee real quick, but I'll talk more.
Okay. What do I do?
I don't know. I could well, I'm only gonna be gone for like 10 seconds or like 20 seconds, but usually
All
if
right,
I'm
I'll
just
be gone
breaking,
for 20 seconds too.
a lot of times I'll
I'll,
just
I'll
play music.
yeah, play some jams. I'm gonna take my camera off and my
Okay.
microphone off. Look at Sandra. While we're gone. Wait, what's Tech's last name?
It's Verkowski. Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's I mean the stream's still going, but it's like muted.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you.
Let's do. Let's play this. Alright, I'm going for you.
All right. He's back. Right.
I think the audio is coming through still.
Two of the victims assaulted and raped a drug dealer in the Cielo house earlier, and the famous slaughter was revenge.
Which one are you reading? What is this from?
It said chaos.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Tom O'Neill does talk about this. I think he talks about it as well.
Is That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing too. That Tom O'Neill he does. I have my gripes with Tom O'Neill. Because I think he's the redditor version of Nicholas Shrek. He's the Reddit version.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I think, but he does. They both talk about the same shit. Like they both, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom O'Neill is now put on like a high pedestal. Um, it is talked about a lot. In that kind of true crime, even conspiracy communities, he's talked about a lot now. But yeah, a lot of that they do both talk about the same stuff. A lot of the same stuff. They have differences in opinions and different things. But
Well,
here's the
that's
thing:
it.
Tom O'Neill hasn't like Nicholas Shrek has
Yeah, I
actually
don't. I
talked.
don't. Whatever.
Nicholas Shrek has. I'm just saying to the people out there. Nicholas Shrek have actually talked to Manson family commune members and people that knew Polanski and all these people, and also he knew Charles Manson for 30 years. And Tom O'Neill, the only people he interviewed were Vincent Bugliosi, who wrote Helter Skelter for
Yeah, I know
a
you.
decade, and then he talked to Charles Manson for only 30 minutes. That's the only time frame
30
that,
minutes?
yeah, supposedly
Why
he just
talk
had
to
a
him at
brief
all?
visit with
Shit.
them one time. That's it. That's his only encounter to Manson.
I mean, that's like, yeah, okay. I mean,
I'm
fuck.
saying you can't with that limited your limited source like that. I don't know. To me, there's not a lot of info you can get out. You need to talk to as many people as possible and different types, and then you kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I, yeah.
But it's
I'm just surprised at this. We need to meet you.
Wojtek.
Yeah, Wojtek. Let's just call him Wojtek. Fuck that Polish shit. Polish people
He's
really have
dead.
the worst names. I think Roman Polanski's the only like good, like solid Polish name I've ever heard.
You can't even pronounce the Polish names are like 32 letters long. Their first name is like 32 letters, and their last name is like 16 letters long.
It's so stupid, and like if you look at the titles of their movies, like in Polish, they all sound so like what's knife in the water translate to? It's like Nazwiz Woozy or some shit. It's like not to shit on the Polish, but like, come on, guys,
Polacks.
you need to clean that shit up. Your main boy is Roman Polanski. You got to get some more blood out there.
Yeah.
Or well, I don't know. I'm sure there's someone more famous as Polish than Roman Polanski, but in my circles, that's the main Polish guy.
Ken Kaczynski is Polish.
You know what? Fair
He's a
enough.
Polish
Fair enough.
American.
A much better example of a Polehood.
Yeah. Take it. Who are some other famous?
uh,
Those are like the ones that come to mind.
yeah, same. Like, right? Some very
That
problematic
influencer,
Poles over here.
that dumb prankster influencer streamer kid, Jack Doherty,
Not
his
familiar.
mom is Polish. I found that
Oh
out,
wow.
which is funny because he's like a stereotypical Zoomer guy, like white American Zoomer surviving
Yeah.
guy. And I found out his mom. because he was on Dr. Phil, and then they interviewed his mom, and his mom's like a total like Polak, the way she talks and stuff. Like,
That's funny. I mean, hey, God
he's the
bless. I don't
best.
know. I wonder if Polish food even a thing? Do they have like special recipes?
Yeah, there's I've never been to a Polish restaurant or never had Polish food, but I know
Aside
they
from like sausages.
yeah, but they do have a couple like around here. I think they have a few Polish places. I've had Hungarian food before. You had
How's
Hungarian?
Hungarian food? Never had it.
I'd probably like it now, but when I was a kid, I hated it. My mom used to
Interesting.
love going to this Hungarian. There's this. It's still here, I think. This local Hungarian. It was owned by this Hungarian couple who are dead now. I think the family, like the kids, own it or grandkids or whatever own it now.
You.
But yeah,
What does that entail even really? Like I is it just Russian shit basically? Like a lot of
no,
Russian
it's kind
shit?
of. I brought up Hungarian because it's kind of similar. It's kind of the
Give me
Hungarians
some
aren't
examples.
Germanic, but it's kind of like what you think of like German type food or Polish food.
Interesting.
Like if you were kind of thinking, it's not that because it's different, and Hungarians aren't Germanic, but it's that kind of they like sausages. I think they have a lot of sausages, and I remember there's a lot of bread, but like they have all these like specific baked breads almost, but they're
Interesting.
um and they had like this rice, but it was kind of different. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I hated it when I was a kid. Um, I might like it now, but yeah, I wouldn't. It's not. It's not like Russian food. I would say it's most more like German. I like German food, is and things like that. It's kind of
Interesting.
closer to that. Even though the Hungarians, they would probably get offended if you said that, but yeah, we're not like that. But yeah, I need to try more ethnic or type food and stuff. There's that place around here I still need to try the Moroccan
Mm.
food place. I still
I
need
was
to
I
try
was
that.
for whatever reason, a lot of I
But a
don't know.
lot of
I was
Moroccan,
thinking about like Moroccan food, like I don't know why, but the word Moroccan food just kept going through my head like not long from now.
a lot of it from the pictures did not look that appetizing.
You can't look at pictures of any like
Yeah, that's the thing. You
ethnic
have to try
foods. You
it.
gotta just like close your eyes and dive in.
Mm.
Like I never would have tried Indian food if it wasn't like the only thing like
I don't like
presented.
Indian food.
You don't rock with any Indian? No.
Nah.
I've only tried the basic stuff, but I like some of the basic, you know, I rock with that. I want to try more. I want to branch out more too. I feel like I only ever eat like burgers and burritos all fucking day, and it's getting dull.
Yeah.
Like I realized I don't have like a really a favorite food, and I feel like I should. Aside from I guess just like whatever ribeye steak or whatever, but
I,
it's
there's
like
this
I want a
place
real
around.
favorite food.
There's this place around here. People are saying I need to try, and there's this Vietnamese restaurant, and have you had a Vietnamese sandwich?
I feel like I've heard those two words together, but I know what is
Yeah, it
what's a
didn't sound
Vietnamese thing.
appealing to me. I was like, what? Like but people, I don't know. People are saying that like I have to try it. I think
I
it's like
mean,
amazing.
you probably do. They're
Yeah,
probably right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Moroccan. I like Greek food, even though I've really only had gyros. But
Never. I don't think I ever had a. Do
I've
you
had it
say
from
gyro or euro?
Euro. Is it Euro?
I always hear euro.
I hear
I got a
gyro.
friend who's like really into that shit, and like I think
Probably Euro.
euro
It's
is
definitely not
what it's
gyro.
called.
It's not gyro.
No, I don't think so.
I've heard Americans say that, but I think it's Euro. Um, I've had it. I've had their food from actual authentic. I've had authentic by Greeks making it, but
Really,
uh yeah yeah Greek. It's really
greasy
good.
bigots. Hmm.
It's uh yeah. So yeah, like Greek foods. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's pretty much just Mediterranean food. So like, it's a lot of
Uh,
it's not far off from like Italian or things
uh,
like that. It's that
really?
same.
I wouldn't have
Yeah, a lot
thought.
of it. It's different, but it's kind of like the same ingredients you expect in certain things, but they all use the same ingredients. A lot of oils and stuff. They're obsessed with their oils and shit like that.
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's Greek food. Yeah, I need to try Moroccan food. There's a place here that opened up recently. It does not sound appealing, but I really do need to go in and actually try it. Um, there's Australian meat pies,
I mean,
and I
I
think it is owned by Australian people. I think it's rampant. I need to try
authentic. That's how you gotta
the
get.
Australian food. I need to try it.
Though I don't know. I'm somewhat. I'm
I don't like meat pies, so that's why I was like, ooh,
well.
I don't know.
Have you had? I don't think I've ever really had them. I got
I
like a
have,
meat pie. Meat pie.
I have. I'm not a fan.
Hmm. I think that sometimes the whole like idea of it's it's good if it's authentic made by X people
Yeah.
because the best pizza I ever had was made by like I think like Iranian guys.
No, the best pizza place here
Yeah,
in my town. Now the best pizza I ever had was just made by some, I don't know, probably mixed white people, like
sure.
whatever. But the best pizza place in this town is made by um uh I think they're Indian. I don't want to
Hmm.
screw up their ethnicity. They're like Indians that own the rest. It's the best pizza in town. It's by
Well,
Indians.
yeah, I believe it. I
Yeah,
believe it. I feel like pizza's.
and theirs is
I don't know.
good too. The recipe, like the way it's made, it's not. It's a regular, pizza, but the certain ingredients they use, like the cheese and the meat, the way they cook it, it's not what you think it is. It's not your
What do you What do you
average
mean? It's not
pizza.
what I think it is.
Okay, so it looks like it looks like pizza, like a pepperoni pizza. It looks like what you
Sure.
think of a pepperoni pizza, but the specific cheese they use and like the way they cook the pepper, it doesn't look. I'm just saying, if you saw what it looked like, you might be like, at first, you might be like, huh, this is different looking, but it is so fucking good. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah, oh yeah, they are Indian because they have their Indian pizza or whatever there. Um,
What do you
and
mean?
yeah, it's
Oh, wait. When you say Indian pizza, do you mean like Indian food on a pizza, or what are you talking about? Indian pizza?
I don't know what it is, but it's different. Like for the Indian pizza, they use like a different sauce. I don't even think it's. I think they use tomatoes still, but um,
Interesting.
it's different. There's a lot of like greens on it, and like it sounds weird, but it was actually pretty good. But uh, yeah,
Interesting.
but their pizza, the recipes they use, it's really good, but it's not. It's very. I've never had a pizza like it from other places that tastes like it. It's very unique.
Yeah.
Their pepperoni is the best, because they really cook the pepperoni. Their pepperoni is like, it's like kind of rolls up. It's like a rolled up pepperoni,
Right.
and it's
Right.
yeah, and it's really good. Um, and so yeah, I actually
What's
had it the other day, but yeah, their food, it's the best in town. It's by like Indian people.
I? It's always something you don't expect. I think.
Yeah. Now my favorite pizza place I've had, or in Oregon in general, is uh American Dream Pizza in Corvallis, Oregon, which is the one I said, which is just, it's like white college students pretty much that work in there. But and that place, their pizza is in rectangles. It's not triangle shape. It's like little rectangles.
Like, which?
Yeah, it's
What do
just
you mean?
little rectangles. So they cut it in rectangles, not like a triangle, like a regular pizza.
That? that's how yeah, that's how they did it at that the best place I had by the Iranians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, American Dream Pizza and Carrasco is the they have like the best pizza though. That's really fucking good. I've never had pizza made by an Italian or New York pizza.
I do want to try.
I never had Chicago. I've had um I've had pizza that tried emulating New York or Chicago pizza. I've had emulated, which is probably
This
not what it is,
New
but
York pizza. I should ask my New York friends what they think, because I've never actually heard anybody be like best slice of pizza I ever had in New York City. Like maybe that's just
I
people.
had Maducci. I went in Maducci's on 45th Street. Uh,
Yeah. Uh,
and when you
like
go there, it's like when you're eating, Minaducci himself comes out. He's like, "How you doing, kid? Enjoying the food?" That's what I picture them coming out, slapping your shoulder,
I
grabbing.
I don't know. It's probably the person who owns it isn't actually named Meducci. It's probably
I just made it up.
Jeff Onegin or something. I don't know. I don't
Is it
know.
actually is Near Pizza actually good, or is it just a bunch of dumb guineas that
I was about to
brag
say
about it?
a class example of Italian liars, like just like fucking just being so like adamant that like something happened, you know?
Yeah. Whenever I
Yeah.
watch a video of Joey Diaz, he's like, "You haven't had fucking real pizza if you haven't had New York pizza."
Of course he says that because he hasn't like you know, I feel like Joey Diaz is the type of guy who's like I've really lived a life or whatever, but mostly with like a few like particular examples of like abnormality. He's just been like a shitty like poor criminal most of his life, and then
Yeah.
he like stand up and like it kind of like took off for him. And like other than that, and like a couple like stray moments of like out there shit, he's mostly just lived like a shitty like dull life.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know, but either way, I mean he's not doing much now.
I got that restaurant, the Minaducci or whatever, from that. I think that was from him. He was saying that video where he's threatening the Red Bar guy. He's like, the Minaducci brothers are gonna come after you. He said that,
I thought you were gonna be like best pizza ever
and
had.
then later in the video, he's like, I just fucking made that up to scare you.
Well, at least he's on. That's nice. That's funny. The
He's like,
minute
listen, cocksucker.
that is honestly that's a good bit. Good for him.
Yeah,
That's
that
kind
was
of a
funny, but
bit.
he's like, listen, cocksucker. They're gonna. He's like, they messaged me. He's like, you know those messages on Facebook with no profile picture. He said these guys be messaging me and said we're gonna kill this fucking guy. And yeah, he said that it's like somebody when you're. He's like, I see you like drinking your whiskey. He's like, when you go to the liquor store at night, somebody's gonna be waiting there with a baseball bat.
That's so funny. I love that.
Oh, I
Um,
like you said. He's like you have three options, stupid. Either you apologize and give each comic $20,000 each, or second, you face the you face these guys and fight like a man, or
a minute.
number three, suicide, motherfucker.
Suicide.
I
God.
just think that's funny. So if we make fun of Joey Diaz, we have to pay, or we make fun of all these comedians, we have to pay them each twenty thousand
If I
dollars as apology.
$20,000 every comedian I ever made fun of,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd have to like just kill myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Suicide, motherfucker.
I mean, like, shit. That is horrific thought, genuinely. Um, suicide, motherfucker.
You know
Um,
what, Joey Diaz? He poops in the when he's taking a shower. If he
I
needs a
heard
poop, he
that.
poop. and he scoops it with his foot down the. Either he does it down the drain if it's small enough, or if it's not, he just takes it and throws it in the toilet.
I don't want. I don't think he does. So no, I think I don't think. Again, I don't think he does anything at the very least now, and probably most of his life.
I like his bar.
Like,
He has a cool bar in his house. It's a little kid's
does he?
bedroom with a few like a table and a few frame pictures. Do you see that video where he's showing off his
What
bar, cocksucker? And he invited Rich Voss over, and it's just
is he?
in this little and this is in this little kid's bedroom that is a bar now, quote unquote a bar. And he just put a table in there and some framed pictures of like Joey Diaz with like a picture of him with like Joe Rogan or something in the background,
Cute.
and
His
and
voice.
uh and Rich Voss is in the video, and Rich Voss is like, he's like, this place is amazing. He's like, I want this in my house, but my wife won't let me. That's what he said.
His wife let him have a table and some framed pictures and some.
It's a bar. It's a bar, cocksucker.
It's. I'm sorry, Joey.
And he said too, he's like, we don't have alcohol in here
Yeah.
right now because it's one of them days, cocksucker. It's one of them days. We didn't have time. It's one of them days. Because he
Wait, it's
built
one
it
of.
in a day. He built the bar in a day. He used to do all
Oh,
that stuff in a day, which is easy, but
I mean,
it's
okay.
just one of them days, cocksucker. That's what he said.
Wanted to have a bar that like can't really even be a bar because he doesn't. I thought he just like those bulls or whatever, you know. But whatever. I mean, hey, I'm glad. God knows his heart's giving out soon. You know what? No, not even because those motherfuckers like him, they'll live to like fucking 85 and just fucking suck up whatever resources like fucking whatever
We
can
can
give
share
them.
a screen on here.
The what?
I can screen share on here.
Oh,
Watch a video. Oh shit! I'm spilling beer.
whoa,
Um,
whoa, party time.
um,
He's wild.
it's one of them days, cocksucker.
Them days. I'm gonna say that like
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna fucking like on a snap decision. I'm gonna like get a Red Bull one day. It's one of them days, cocksucker. That's so fucking funny. It's like that really, you know.
You should
Anyway,
start watching. You should start watching.
I like our color differences here too. By the way, anyway,
Oh yeah.
what were you gonna say?
You should start watching Red Bar Radio on YouTube.
Maybe I've been watching a lot of Sam Hyde stuff.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of like clips from his streams and like fucking like I really want to watch World Peace his show. I don't really
Is
know
it on
like what
YouTube?
their stream is. No, I don't think it is. I
Oh,
think
it
I'm gonna have
was. The full
it.
series was on YouTube. I don't know if it got taken down, but
I
I saw it
imagine
when it came out. But
on Adult Swim.
no, I watched it when it did came out, but I watched it on the Adult Swim. I don't know if they still do this, but I don't know if they still do this, but they used to upload episodes on their website of like shows that just came out. If you missed it, they would upload it for like a brief period, and I would watch it on their website. I actually used to go on this is funny. I used to go on the Adult Swim website and I watched they used to upload like full like series on their website of like old shows, and I would just watch like the full series of shows and stuff on there.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it sucks that like they just kind of like
I don't think they do that anymore, but
I don't know
yeah.
what they fucking do, but they're not like doing good stuff now. It's all like fucking looks the same and it's all kind of the same general sense of humor, and I feel like they it up a little more in the earlier days from like
$1 million extreme stuff to like that. Was that show called The Adventure Brothers or something?
Oh,
Which I haven't
the Venture
watched,
Brothers.
but at least that was like that kind of seemed
I
like
was a fan. I haven't. I never watched past like season 4 of the Venture Brothers, but I liked the Venture Brothers. Um, when
yeah.
you watch the
I know it has its definite fan.
yeah, I like it quite a bit. But what was it say about Sam Hyde, the show Adult Swim? Oh yeah, Red Bar. Yeah, I like Red Bar. It's fucking hilarious. I like Red Bar because he makes fun of every comic or like podcaster in existence, and um, he's even made a video. He didn't make fun of them, but I was saying he made a video on Red Scare or a clip thing, and
That I
um,
want to watch that. I want.
yeah,
What did you
it
say?
was when Anna and Doster on Meg Kelly.
Oh right, did he talk about that?
Yeah, he's talking about that, but Red Bar is actually a Red Scare fan, I guess, but he's a cool dude. He pretty much aligns with everything I have. He hates all the LA comedy scene podcaster types, and
Yeah,
um
yeah.
his fun some of his funniest videos though are actually the uh the Logan Paul podcast stuff. That's actually some of his funniest
What
stuff.
what does Logan Paul talk about on his fucking podcast?
Bro.
All I know is that he got in trouble, or not even in trouble. He just like got talked about for a minute because like he said that the Oppenheimer movie was boring because there was too much
Yeah,
dialogue.
but um one of the funniest, my favorite Red Bar videos. He's watching one with it was Logan Paul on No Jumper, and uh, one of the fun. I still quote this to this day after I seen it. In the video, Adam 22 asked Logan Paul, he's like, "What kind of girls do you like?" And Logan Paul's like, bro. I mean, this is what he says. He's like, bro. I mean, I'm be honest. He's like, I like them smart girls. I mean, come on, bro. A smart girl? Yeah.
I like that. I like that answer.
A smart girl?
A
Yeah.
smart girl.
Yeah.
And was Adam 22 or whatever? Like, no, I mean like
I
that
think I think
skinny.
his fucking drug head was just like nodding. He does that nod because he talks to retards all day, every day. So he probably
Oh
doesn't
my
think.
god, he
Yeah.
literally does, dude. It's so
Like
funny.
he's surprisingly he's a not even that smart of a guy. Like he's he's uh he's
You
done
know
every degenerate act under the sun,
how you
and
talking? Yeah.
I'm surprised he's still somewhat mentally there. He's done every degenerate act under the sun.
Yeah.
You know, he had that reality show which I was gonna do a video on, but it was so boring that I ended up not doing a video on it. His reality show where people were in competition of who's gonna screw his wife.
How did he make that boring, dude? That's a
It was
ludicrous.
boring. I was surprised. I know I had it. No, I was live streaming. I was like, I'm ready. Let's push play. I shut it off. I was like, nobody watched it. I was bored. I was like, okay, I'm shutting this off. This is not
Dude,
funny. This is not interesting.
how do
Well,
you fuck?
it was trying to be funny too. That was the problem too. It was trying
Um,
to be funny and it was not funny and like obviously fake. Because I
motherfucker,
feel like if this was a legit like show like series like serious, where it's like who's
people
gonna screw
never
the bride.
know people never know why what they're doing is funny, and they
Yeah,
all more in on it than they are. People like that's uh I think that's why Fish Tank works like as an actual show, and I think that's why like there are so few examples. I mean, like really, like no one. I don't know whatever. I just yeah. How do you fuck that up? That's so fucking like disappointing that like it was a show because I mean maybe it just works better.
well, that's the issue. I think It should have been because it was kind of like, yeah, it was like a love, like a bachelor kind of thing, but I think it was just comedic as well, and I think it would have been better if
We just,
I think it would have been better if it was like a real, like legit, like bachelor type show, like a legit,
dude, if
like
you played it like this show is who's going to fuck my wife, like
yeah, and like serious, like straight, like serious. I think it would have been
funniest thing I've
better.
ever heard.
Yeah,
But
we would
like,
have been laughing, but it wasn't.
who's
And
who's gonna fuck my wife? That's that's such a funny dude. That's so disgusting that he screwed that up.
yeah,
Uh,
and
that's the
yeah,
funniest ever. Like, how do you not make a funny show
it
out
was
of
just
that?
lame. Like it was
Really?
boring. Not boring. It was kind of watchable, but it was like because you
Or
want to know where
like,
it was going, but it was just like, well, and here's the thing too. Uh, and it did seem like that because he said this himself. He's like, they actually did not know who was gonna win, and actually, if you watch the series, it actually is apparent that it did seem like they didn't actually like have it planned and stuff, even though there's a lot of fakery in the show,
uh-huh,
but
of
that aspect did seem legit.
course.
Like they did not. And but here's the thing: they were all, I think, almost all those people in the show are like porn actors already and stuff, and so
Well, that's less
that's the thing
interesting.
too. That's kind of like that was the aspect I didn't like too. Was it's like, oh, they've already done
Is
porn, like
like, oh, like not that like porn stars just fuck all the time, but like
yeah, it's like, oh,
kind
it's a
of
given.
even like even from like their perspective, because like I'm sure he doesn't think it's funny that like
And it was all
guys
strategic. Like you can tell who they picked. Like a reality show is all strategic. I would think it'd be better if it was random. Like,
as random as you
ra-
can get it without
yeah,
getting AIDS is probably the way to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Like, I mean, like get like literally, if you like got the cast of the first season of Fish
That
Tank,
would have been exciting too. You'd be like, because you've got the most random people. You're like, what the fuck? Who is like? You would
yeah,
also.
just
It'd be so funny, but at the same time, you'd be so engaged. You'd be like, what the fuck? Where is this going? Like who? Like
literally,
this is
like
insane.
the more we're talking about it, the more I think it's like actually like a good like
It
solid
should be
con.
like it should be a legit series. Like
It
a
like literally
yeah.
should be should fucking pay him like $25 or whatever he's taking these days to like get the rights to that like concept and then just do their own show. Get Sam Hyde the rights to this. Get Hassan Piker or something. I don't know if he's married or like get like fucking Ethan Klein who gets to fuck Hila. I want to see that show. And get to rail out Hila Klein live.
um. Yeah, but yeah, it was lame. I was actually kind of almost shocked how lame it was. I was like, wow, this is not that good. Uh, it's one of those two you forget when you're watching the show, you forget what the concept of the show is. Like you forget. You're just like, oh, because at first you're thinking, you kind
Okay,
of get
wait.
distracting. You think, oh, this it just seems like a dating show at a certain point. You're just like, oh, this is kind
But
of
you know, even that still like should be funny because it's a guy's wife.
yeah.
But like, I mean, what? So what? There's not like challenges like you have
There
to
is.
X, Y, and Z.
There's challenges, but they're really that's the thing too. They're really lame challenges,
Right.
or they have nothing to do with any. Like it's just like how many push-ups can this guy do versus the other guy. It's like
I
it's just stuff like that. It's like okay, like that was the thing that made the show lame too. Yeah, the challenges are lame, so
get
it's like you
literally
can't be engaged with it. You just like
pay fucking Sam Hyde
yeah,
like give him like 30 minutes and a piece of paper and then just take the piece of paper and be like, okay, this is the first season of the show or the
yeah.
whatever they plan. But like that's like, oh dude, it's so sad. This is the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood of reality TV shows
Yeah, it is.
and the greatest thing ever. and like it had no reason to not be, but they just kind of fucking like fucked it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you see that video of you probably didn't see it. Adam 22 was on, him and his wife were on some live stream thing, and there's this other like lame nerd streamer influencer kid, it's like named Neon or whatever, and there's that video where he's on that stream, he appears, and Neon asks him at Adam 22, he's like, it's actually a really funny video though. He's like, hello, Mr. Adam, sir, because he just looks like, like a nerd kid, and he's like, I have something to ask you, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's funny. Valid question.
Yeah, Adam was telling, he was actually getting pissed off, and the kid, he's like your stereotypical like gamer nerd, like telling you to go kill yourself kind of energy, and it was just funny that Adam was getting all like pissed off by this little nerdy.
I mean,
kid.
good, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it was actually pretty. Despite everyone in that video being cringe, that was a funny video. But
I like that he called her Adam.
Yeah, Adam Service. It was the perfect thing too, because that kid was just saying what we thought about him for like so many years. Because I've hated Adam 20. I cannot stand him for like a long time, and this kid finally said what we've all been thinking over the years and stuff. Finally, somebody said it to him. And
it's so funny that like that guy, because he's fully like Me Too canceled now, right? Like he's not doing anything right now, right?
Okay, so he's doing well when it comes to publicity and views and things like that,
but like
when it comes to his like his status is like what's the word?
A respected interviewer.
Yeah, he's not respect. Even that that thing with the black thing, that especially, boom, that he's done. That he was done with.
I don't know about.
Kind of done with him before that. He was kind of done with. But there's still some people that kind of respected him, and even like the hip hop community kind of still respected him. Fantano never. I don't think ever he was interviewed by him one time, but I don't think he ever respected him, because even when he was Me Too'd, Fantano kind of threw shit at him. But because the hip hop community does not really give a shit about Me Too's and stuff.
No, they don't. And really,
they don't really care that Adam 22 screwed some 14-year-olds, or like they don't care about, allegedly, they don't care about any of that stuff. But when his wife got blacked, that he's done. He's not done. Yeah. He's doing well when it comes to views and attention, publicity. But
is he?
For a respect, yeah.
Is no jumper even like a thing? I never like see any no jumper.
No, so
or was that
because he has those other videos with like the other people making videos on there. Those don't get that many views, but when it comes to his videos, especially about his wife, oh yeah, the views go up, and he's not hurting. He's doing well. That did help him publicity wise, but it's a freak show to people. It's a freak show, and like the reality show thing, it's a freak show. And
they're asking what Neon was asking. Yeah. Okay.
But when it comes to him being respected, no. There's no. Even if you look at the comments on the videos, there's people making fun of him. Every comment's making fun of him.
Fall from grace. Indeed,
he's done with when it comes to respect. Now he's just like a clown, like a literal clown, like where people Joker type, like
he's the Joker,
not the Joker. Like what's that archetype? What's that archetype? The fool archetype or whatever.
Man, yo, let's see who's laughing when my wife gets blacked. Joker, no.
But what is he like? The fool
14? Was
archetype?
it
What's that
14?
called? The jester archetype? The fool archetype?
Yeah,
That's
sure. The
kind of what
fool.
he is now. Like he's a laughing stock. Like he's just
Yeah,
laughing.
I
Yeah.
mean, many such cases, and it's like he went from like just like what like respected hip hop
He's
interviewer.
disowned. Rappers have been making fun of. They've dissed or made fun of him as. I've heard. I don't listen to rap. I don't keep up with modern rappers and stuff, but I've heard things where now you hear like his name brought up, like make cuck jokes and lyrics that like he's done with. Even like people like Joe Budden, GG Academics, those like media, hip hop media types, disowned him. They respect him, they disowned him. Everybody has disowned him. He's done. It's like he's like Vito in The Sopranos in their world. That's what he's like. He's like,
That's funny. That's
yeah.
that's pretty funny. That is basically the black equivalent of that, or the like. I guess I shouldn't say black. That's not fair to say. The hip hop black equivalent of it is basically just like your wife got fucked by a black guy with a bigger
Yeah, they
penis.
hate that.
Supposedly, who
Trust me.
knows how big his penis is? Maybe he has a big old
It
hunk
was
on him.
big.
The black guys?
Yeah, he's a porn star.
Well, sure, yeah. But like, I don't
Yeah, it
know.
was.
Okay, I calm down. No, it was. I'm sorry. Um, um, anyway, I'm sorry. What were we talking about?
Supposedly he filmed a new video with his wife, him and his wife getting fucked, but he was in the video as
Wait,
well. I didn't watch
what?
it though, but
He's getting fucked by the black guy
no,
too
the
now.
black guy's fucking his wife with. He's him
Right?
and the black guy are fucking his wife. The
Oh.
guy that won the competition. I never watched it. I don't want to watch Adam 22. I don't want to look at that. I
Oh
didn't look
man.
on it out of curiosity. I did
He
see the I
probably
did
has.
see the first video out of curiosity because I had to. I watched
Was
it
it
with
hot?
everybody else. It
Was
was
it
like
hot?
me and everybody else watched that first video.
Is his wife hot, or is she just kind of like she
Here's
has a
what
lot
I
of
think. Here's what I
yeah.
think. His wife's Armenian, and you realize my words. I think she's actually it's hard to say because who she's with, the context of her as a like my level, everything goes down. But I think she's actually pretty.
Because she's a porn star, or because she's
No,
dating.
Armenian. No, she's not even like what you would say like quote unquote conventionally attractive. She doesn't have a porn star look. Her body is because she got obvious looked like work, but
Right, right.
her face
Let
is
me
very
let me
Armenian
actually
looking.
hold up. Let me
She
look
has a
up
very
Adam
Armenian looking face. It's very Armenian looking.
to
Like she kept all
first.
Armenian. She's not like Kim Kardashian who got rid of all of her
Oh, Lena
Armenian
the
features.
Plug. That's
Lena
his
the
wife.
Plug. Lena the
Oh, not
Plug.
that I know who that is or anything.
Yeah.
That's her with some very handsome
I think
black
she's
man.
actually pretty though. But
She is pretty.
yeah,
Yeah, she's real pretty.
as I was saying, she has a very Armenian face. You can tell.
Steve-O's wild ride, the true reason Adam 22 let his wife sleep with another man.
That's what I say. I give her props. She kept her Armenian face, unlike Kim Kardashian, who got rid of it.
I see now the stuff for the show. I'll try not to scroll too far, but I just want to get a vibe.
Mm.
Adam 22 on his wife, Lena, doing a scene with a man. No Jumper staff interview. What's Vlad TV, by the way? I always see
Vlad
like
TV is that guy that I think he's like half black. He interviews. He's been around for like a decade, more than a decade. Uh, he just interviews like everybody. That's all he does is interviews like rappers or people in the rap industry. That's all he does. That's every video. I don't really like his video. I think he's kind of a boring interviewer. He's always off screen.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'll like click because like I'm curious to see what the guest has to say, but
Yeah.
I mean it's few and far between. Can we? I don't know how much longer I can go here, but I do want to touch on something.
Okay.
Did Paul Mooney rape Richard Pryor Jr.?
That's just allegedly.
Allegedly, yes, but allegedly, yeah, it actually happened, or allegedly, what's? I'm trying to read the room a little here.
Supposedly, didn't Richard Pryor's son say he did it or implied or something?
Well, all I from what I heard is that what he mostly commented on was whatever happened, I was not able to properly consent. I was underage when it would have happened. That's all he said. And by not saying like, no, it wasn't this guy, that pretty much always means it was that guy, right? In this case, Paul Mooney.
I guess
Who
I
I
didn't look into
always
it, but
who I always got kind of like bad vibes from, kind of.
oh yeah,
He always seemed very like sort of sociopathic, perhaps.
yeah,
Or just like extremely like into whatever he was saying, in a way. I don't know.
yeah. I always said I remember you brought that up in group chat. I think I always said was like, wouldn't be surprised, or I don't know what I said, but I said something like that.
I think your reasoning though was like he's a like Richard what's the term you used?
Down low brother.
A down low brother.
Yeah.
Um.
And Richard Pryor has had
Yeah, but like that was like with Marlon Brando, not a little boy.
alleged. I don't even know if I believe in the Marlon Brando. Do you believe?
I see no reason to not, because I know that Marlon was bisexual.
And Richard
and
Pryor, I'm saying Richard Pryor has had bisexual sex.
No, I know he's.
That's
I mean, I'm basically know he's bisexual.
Yeah.
He's said so himself.
Yeah.
In so many words, I don't think he used the word bisexual. I just
Yeah.
know that he's talked about having a little love affair or something with like a trans chick or some shit, and was like, that was my weekend of being gay or whatever. I like the way you put it. I've come to like his comedy more.
That's
over the years.
debatable if that's bisexual. That could be.
Well, no, I wasn't. It wasn't a trans woman. I think it was just like a cross dresser though, or something like that. Like he probably like just had like a thing with a twink one time, and he was just like cross dresser. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he had sex with Marlon Brando. That comes from what's his name, Quincy Jones. Said that.
Right? Is Quincy is kind of like a messy bitch, right? Or like,
he's hilarious the way he talks. He's like, because he's a very old. Is he even still alive?
I think he passed. I think he passed
Oh,
like a year or two ago.
Okay, yeah, but the way he talks, he's so old school and stuff. Like he still says "jive, motherfucker." Jive, motherfucker.
God bless him for that.
He said the Beatles were fucking. Did he? What did he say about the Beatles? He said they sucked, but
I think he said the Beatles sucked.
But
did he say Michael Jackson sucked?
No, didn't he say something with the Beatles? Like they're retards. And he said something like that.
Here, let me just look up Quincy Jones.
The Beatles like retards, or he said something like an insult about the like
Quincy Jones, the Beatles.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we can find. The Beatles were the worst musicians in the world. That seems to be all he said. Sadly, I wish he called
more to that because I read the full interview a long time ago. Because remember that kind of became viral because the Richard Pryor thing. People were talking about it a lot when they came out. Remember Anthony Fantano made a whole video just on that article, that interview, a long time ago.
He says they were no playing motherfuckers. Paul was the worst bass player I ever heard. And he says, and Ringo, don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
So George, that didn't sound so bad. And I said, yeah, motherfucker, because it ain't you. Yeah, based. Okay, based.
Well, it
he
is
says
true. The Beals were
Michael
not
Jackson he was
talented
as
musicians.
Machiavellian as they come. What?
It is true the Beals were not talented musicians. That is like a fact. It's not. Like they were good at constructing like pop songs and stuff. They weren't like virtuoso musicians or
I
anything.
mean, Paul McCartney is.
Yeah, he's a good musician. He's not like I said a virtuoso. I
I
don't think
mean, like, yeah,
virtuoso is
sure.
like a Jimi Hendrix or someone on that pedestal.
I mean, sure, but like, that
He's
only
still
goes so
talented,
far.
regardless. But
I mean, they're all fucking. Who gives a shit? I don't know. Like, who gives a shit if they can't do like
Quincy Jones is
fancy
one of the
tricks?
greatest producers of all time. So
Is
I
he?
get
He
his
what?
ego. Quincy
What?
Jones. Quincy Jones is one of the greatest producers of all time.
What? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I understand he has that ego.
He's just, yeah. I just like that he's just like sling shit at everybody. That's what I like him best for, really. He's just like Richard Pryor was a fucking faggot. He got his ass fucked by Marlon Brando. Yeah. I don't know, but anyway, looping back to Paul Mooney being a child molester. I never liked him because, well, I liked him because he was pretty funny, and I do often think about his I'm not gonna say it, his bit on the Chappelle Show where he was like, I'm gonna make a movie called The Last Boop on Earth, and I'm gonna cast Tom Hanks or whatever. That always makes me laugh. I'm not gonna say it. And anyway,
Speaking of child molesters, did you see
oh
that
yeah,
video of him when he got in an argument with Anthony Cumia?
Paul Mooney.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Opie and Anthony, they got in an argument about race. Him and Paul Mooney, Anthony Cumia.
No, but wait. Why does that happen? Oh, because Anthony. Okay, yeah.
I said
I
speaking of
thought.
child molester.
Is that confirmed?
the well,
What did Anthony do again?
there's a lot of evidence that he's dated. Let's say under the age of 18. I would even
Let's.
go younger than 17. And he took that 17-year-old girl to prom or whatever. The incident. And there's that picture with him and her with the family. There's a picture. You can look it up on Google. This is already known. I've known about this for years. This is a known.
Man, win.
And you know what's funny about the picture? He's just dressed like how he's always dressed. So this fucking boomer dad, like,
Hold up.
Sir.
Anthony.
Kumia. You just type in Anthony Kumia, 17-year-old. It will pop up immediately. It's a
17.
family picture.
17-year-old, yeah.
It'll
Images.
pop up.
Wait, images. This fucking guy. She's pretty.
Is it? Do you see the family picture?
Okay. I see it. I don't know if that's
She's like
Beavis
with her like parents. There's like these like people that are obviously like the same age as him, posing the
and
picture.
the little daughter. Oh my god, look at him. He's dressed up in a suit though in this one though.
Okay. There's one picture with him where he's just dressed the same.
There were multiple visits to the family, so
he dresses like the same all the time. He has that same outfit.
Anthony Cumi's girlfriend. Oh my god, don't hit me. Arrested shock jock's girlfriend.
Oh, that girl was not. She was like in her late 20s or something. That one girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
well,
he
then.
bit.
Whatever.
He on a live stream. She live streamed them getting in an argument, and he grabbed her and bit her hand. He's like, ah, and that's where his nickname, the Count, comes from. Count Kumia. That's what Red Bar calls him, the Count.
Oh my god!
Red Bar says he's a vampire.
And Opie and Anthony, who was on that? Was that Anthony, the one guy? Opie and Anthony.
Anthony? What about it?
Yeah, Opie and Anthony. Who's Opie? Who the fuck is Opie? I never know this. No one ever talks about Greg Opie Hughes.
Because he's a fucking lame. He has his own YouTube channel where he does live streams, and OP's a fucking lame dweeb.
Most the only stuff I really know about Opie and Anthony stuff is from the earliest I heard was from an Amazing Atheist video, embarrassingly enough, because they got
No, it's,
into sort of a beef because like they were talking about the Amazing Atheist gun policy views or whatever, and
oh yeah, Anthony
and
Cumia is super pro gun.
I know,
Yeah.
that's so funny, and of course later on I learned about Cumtown, the drama from Cumtown. Wow, what I'm just looking at pictures. Iron Sheik and Opie and Anthony. He pissed his pants. Okay, I gotta stop, dude. This is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. Um, that's such a fascinating little tale.
And Anthony Cumia, if you go on his Instagram, I bet if we could go on there right now, look at his following list. People have found that he follows like 13-year-olds and stuff. And you know why? Because on there it says 13 as their age, and then you look at their photos and they're clearly like middle school girls.
Anthony Cumia.
Yeah.
A Cumia. Are you following him? Is this?
Yeah, I follow him.
Real?
You gotta watch the Red Bar videos on Anthony Cumia.
He's got a picture of Jesus Christ. He's got a cat. Okay, let's look at the following list. Let's see if I'm just gonna scroll for just a second, and I'm just gonna pick anything. No, okay. Well, maybe not. Maybe not anymore.
He could have unfollowed all those people too, but if you watch that Red Bar video, they
He
go
didn't.
on there, and that was recorded live. They go on his Instagram, and they find
there are a lot of here, though. I will say that that don't necessarily seem famous. A lot of.
Oh yeah, a lot of them are famous.
Is Natalie Cunha his like wife or his sister?
Oh, it's probably like a sister.
Oh, that poor girl with that. The Cumia name.
Cum.
I always in my head say Cumia, but I didn't want to make that joke. He's following Joe Rogan. I wonder how that's gonna work for him.
He's been on Joe Rogan a bunch of times.
Has he? Why does Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan's a huge Anthony Cumia. Joe Rogan always says this. There's actually a compilation video on YouTube. It's funny. Joe Rogan always name drops Anthony Cumia. He's always like, this is the reason why I podcast is because of him. He always talks about that. He tells people that.
Okay, I guess we all have our influences. That's fine.
Because Anthony Cumia was doing his podcast thing while he was on Opie Anthony. But the funny thing is, Red Bar, their enemy, their arch nemesis, has been podcasting since 2003. So, like, he's done it way before any of them, which is funny.
That is funny. I think that predates. What's his name that always gets the credit? Mark Maron.
He also predates. What's that guy from MTV? They always say is the first podcaster. Fuck, what's that guy's name? Is it like Adam Curtis? No.
That sounds kind of right to me.
Because people always say he's the first podcaster. They always say he's.
Now,
and I looked at the dates, and Red Bar predates that guy too. But Red Bar is not the first podcaster, anyways. But regardless,
I mean, what's considered a podcast? It's like an internet-based thing, right?
Like what we're doing is pretty much kind of still like.
Well, no, I know that this, whatever, but like, what is like technically the criteria for like a podcast? Man, where does it in radio and like podcast begin?
I guess it's just a show that's uploaded on the internet.
Right.
It's audio.
based thing. So as long as anyone's been doing that, like
I looked
that's
on
basic.
Wikipedia and they said there's this show from the late '90s. That's the first podcast, and I listened to it, and yeah, it is the first, literally the first podcast. I think it's from like '97 or something.
That's really cool, actually. I think
It
that's
was
cool.
like these British guys, and yeah, it was literally the
Wow,
first
I'm
podcast.
not British. I would. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but
It's
yeah,
such a podcasting is like art form or a particular like field that like requires a certain amount of exploration at this point, or do you take the more conservative approach?
you know what's interesting about Red Bar is because now he just does it with him and his wife, the show. A long time ago when he started, he had comedians on there as special guests all the time, and he had T.J. Miller and Hannibal Buress were on there before they were famous, like
Wow,
18 years ago.
that's funny.
Yeah, before
Cool.
they were famous, they were on there. Red Bar.
TJ Miller, that's the guy who's got like
He's in Deadpool movies. He's in
right.
Deadpool.
He's not doing anything. He hasn't
He's
done
lame.
anything.
I don't like T.J. Miller, by the way.
I for whatever
He's a douche.
reason, there was like 3 days where I just watched a lot of like TJ Miller stand up.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty young, but I for whatever reason was just like particularly entertained by him. But like after like 3 days, I was completely done, and I didn't find him funny anymore.
But I didn't know this. It's kind of weird when you discover these things. Because it's like, oh, I've known this person longer than I thought. Red Bar made because he makes music here and there and stuff, and I didn't realize. I don't know if you've seen this video. You probably haven't. But this video is from like I don't know what year. It's probably like the late 2000s at least. He made a video, which I remember watching when I was in elementary school or something like that, and I didn't realize he was like, oh, that's Red, that's him. It's the same guy that made the video. It was it was a parody of the DuckTales theme song where it was like racist, and it was kind of a popular video a long
That's
time
fun.
ago. And it's funny
Do
because I remember I think I had a friend that told me to watch it in elementary, like fifth grade, told me to watch it.
It's great,
And
huh?
it's kind of funny. And then years later, I'm like, that's Red Bar. Like what? Like so I've known. It's weird when you discover things like that. So I've known this person longer than.
I know exactly what you mean. That is really fucking
Yeah.
trippy. It's like, yeah.
I guess too, and I guess it is still his day. But he says because he talks about that here and there. He said back then that was his most popular. That's what he's most known for. Because he said a lot of people they discovered his show because of that video.
Kind of
It
bad.
was kind of a popular video back then. People discovered it.
I especially like that he likes Red Scare. Like that's so like funny to me.
He's worn merch. That's
Based. That's so big. I love that.
I made a joke and said it's me in the future because he dresses exactly like me.
Yeah. No. Let me. I just like I still haven't really looked at him. Red Bar is that
Red Bar? Yeah. Yeah, I
Red
think
Bar.
you like his videos. It's there is a thing because he always watches other people's videos and he pauses a lot. He pauses a lot and zooms in on people's faces, which is actually the best part of the show. But his funniest videos are his best videos are on Joey Diaz and Anthony Cumia. Those are his best videos. Once on
Red Bar podcast. I'm looking at him. This guy with a beard.
Yeah, he has a beard now.
He looks so. He does not look necessarily like a Red Scare listener, but
well,
I like.
Supposedly his wife is. His wife's a huge, and his wife has vocal fry.
Is his wife? His wife like 23 years old.
His wife is like 30. Well, she's like the same age as Dasha or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's kind of an age. He's actually not that old. He's only 40.
He looks. Yeah. He
Like
looks.
41.
He looks like he looks older, but he looks like he's keeping it together.
Yeah.
Which isn't a terrible thing.
But
He looks handsome.
Yeah, he is. But he's had health issues. He has autoimmune disease.
Oh.
Which I guess aged him quick too.
okay?
Yeah.
He's not like
Oh no, he's not like dying or anything. He says yeah.
okay. I was just thinking yesterday. I'm sorry. This is kind of an aside, but I was just thinking yesterday about when I first like used TikTok. It's very exciting, and I realized that like a quarter at least of the people I followed were all people with like terminal illnesses, dying, like documenting in some way the process of it, and I'm sort of fascinated by like what like drew me to that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you like relate to this at all, or is this just like a
I don't
no?
watch that type of stuff. I usually avoid that
Oh,
type of
now
stuff.
it's much for me, but I don't know. For whatever reason, I was just like it's such an intimate like look at death, and like several people, at least, well, maybe not several, but at least one, it was like confirmed dead. Like his sisters like uploaded a last TikTok to the account of like, hey guys, he loved you, like that shit, and it was like such a fucking like rock to the
Yeah.
fucking floor. Anyway, I'm sorry if that kind of
But
dropped down a little, but
no,
I,
but I want to
it
say
was
too that Red Bar is he's a Sam Hyde fan, and also
I
he
like it. I like this guy.
on his show he actually reacted to the Anthony Fantano dish because the Red Bar has made a couple videos on Anthony Fantano.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he calls because that's who he's famous for because he has like particular people he makes videos on, and he calls them the fools. They're the Red Bar fools. So
the red
there's
fire
like
rule.
the most famous is like like Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan, all those guys. They're the Red Bar Fools, the comedy podcasters, and he has Logan Paul, Anthony Cumia. They're the Fools. He always talks about. That's what he calls them, the Fools, because he keeps track of all of them. He says he watches all their videos. He keeps tracks of the content on them and stuff.
Interesting.
Well, he was on Compound
And,
Media, Anthony
and
Cumia's network.
Sam Hyde and Red Bar expose something. Yeah, that's cool.
And Sam Hyde likes Red Bar too.
Has he given him like
Yeah,
vocal?
Sam Hyde said he watches his videos and stuff.
That's cool. That's
They're
cool.
actually not that far apart. They're kind of the same sort of.
How do you mean the same?
They don't make the same type of content, but they're like
Sense of humor.
it's not shocking they like each other kind of thing. It's not shocking. They probably agree with each other a lot and probably have the similar tastes in comedy and what they like, don't like,
Sam Hyde's an interesting figure.
And Red Bar has one of the best sets. He has the best like podcast set of all time.
It looked pretty tight. It looked
Yeah.
pretty tight. Although I gotta say, I'm kind of more and more against visuals to go along with, not visuals, but like recording. I know that's exactly what we're doing right now, basically. Like when you get down to it, even though this isn't like a podcast, I'm against like, I think that podcasts should be a audio medium first and foremost. I think that like it's like, like what are we looking at people for? Like they're just talking. I'm like, what, I don't know, whatever. I'm retarded, don't listen to me. Anyway.
Yeah, but Red Bar, the videos I suggest to watch are the Joey Diaz and the Anthony Cumia ones. Those are the best ones. But
Is his wife pretty?
oh, his wife is beautiful.
I
She's never really on camera, but
uh
you can find her. She has like an Instagram and stuff. You can find her. But
based. I'll do some research. I'll do some
I think he
research.
would like Red Bar because he's on pretty much the same page as us on like all this stuff. Pretty much like stuff
I
we
imagine.
talk about, our opinions, pretty much the same page. Like,
No great divergences. Like he's like a huge Hillary Clinton fan or something. Or
no, he's not. He's not
that'd be
political, but he's not political, but he he's one of those the people he likes are kind of he likes
I
Sam
wonder.
Hyde, he likes Red Scare, he doesn't respect the LA comedy scene. He doesn't like any of those.
I wonder what too. I bet he's probably got some good taste.
Oh yeah, and
Just
I've seen some of his videos because he has his website. That's where he has some free episodes like Red Scare. You pay for some episodes and there's some episodes free. And
right,
I've watched some of his free episodes on there, and he has he plays music sometimes in his things
like
in between
Aaron.
break, like a radio show, and he has good taste. He loves Kanye. He's made a lot of videos about
Oh no,
Kanye. He's a huge Kanye
I
fan.
thought
He's worn Kanye merch on the show.
is he still like a fan of Kanye or did
Yeah.
he like
No, yeah,
bow out?
he is. He made recent videos about him
Good
recently.
for him. Fucking stay with it. Who gives a fuck?
No,
Anyway.
Red Bar is the best. Like, because I've seen his videos a long time ago, and I wasn't really a huge fan. But then I started rewatching him. I was like, wow, this guy's like, um, I agree with everything. He has same taste, same.
You're
Uh,
watching it on the website. Does he does post like certain stuff on YouTube or like what do you what how,
yeah, but they're all re-uploads on YouTube. They're all
okay,
re-uploads, the clips, which is the way to watch it because his actual show is like 8 hours long. His
fuck.
full
All right.
episodes, yeah, and so you should just watch them on YouTube clips.
He's like more streamer almost by nature or by what's the fucking word? Hang on. In function? Whatever. He does his shit like a streamer and he just dices it up like with
Well, yeah,
specific
it's
top.
live too. It's live, so that's
Right.
where, yeah.
I,
So, um, yeah. One of my favorite, my, fa- yeah, there's the one Anthony Cumia one where he's watching an Anthony Cumia live stream where he's playing a game, and Anthony Cumia gets really drunk and, off screen, bitches at his girlfriend in the same room, and Anthony Cumia, he gets so pissed off, he's like. He's like, "Ugh." He spits in his own house. He spits like,
fucking
"Ugh." And he has his face. His face is like, he's just weird because he has a weird like face, like cartoony face, like Popeye. He does like a Popeye face when he spits. And Red Bar says, he spits like a real racist.
that's so funny.
It's perfect. He does because he does a weird Popeye. He's like a cartoon. Those are like 40s cartoons, like a racist guy. That's what he's like. He's like,
That's so
"Ooh."
fucking I like this guy, honestly. This guy
Yeah.
rocks. I was like
Well, he was on Anthony Cumia's network for a little
was
bit.
he? Oh,
Yeah,
so
Anthony Cumia was paying him and stuff to be on there, and then he left because
YouTube.
Anthony Cumia they said they got on his ass because they said you can't make fun of these comedians because we're friends with them. Red Bar.
Based. You know you're like a cool free speech guy when you're like
Oh yeah,
telling your
Anthony Cumia and all these guys, Steven Crowder, they're free speech guys.
yeah,
Brian Callen, they're all
make fun
free
of
speech guys until you make fun of them.
yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, fucking many such cases, but like, you know.
Oh, like Sam Tripoli, the free speech guy, the conspiracy theorist guy.
Right. You were just
Yeah, because Red Bar, he went to his house. He filmed himself going to Red
that,
Bar's house,
oh
yelling.
yeah, that's why I know the name. Okay, yeah, that's why I know the name.
He's like, "Come on out, motherfucker!" So he's doing Sam Tripoli because he made fun of him and his kids.
Oh,
he
he made
actually
kids.
took a trip to Arizona just to find him. He's like, "Come on out, motherfucker!"
Well,
He's
that's
an
not.
East Coast guy, New York guy. So he's like, "Come on out."
But I mean, you know, you don't got to go to Austin or wherever you just said.
And Sam Tripoli, yeah, he's a free speech guy. He always talks about that. I'm a free speech guy, and
Hey, you can say what you want about me, but you talk about my fucking kids. I'm gonna fly to your house and wear a
and he
fucking
did.
head, and then fucking knock on your door, and then not actually do.
Yeah, but there's a video somebody filmed themselves going to one of his stand-up gigs, Sam Tripoli, and they yelled, "Red." There's a video of it where he reacts to. He's like, "Red Bar's watching." Guy yells at the audience, and he's very close, like up front. And Sam Tripoli, all you see is Sam Tripoli throw down his mic, and that's all you see. The guy, I guess, he said Sam Tripoli was like chasing him out of the bar. He got so pissed. He said, "Red Bar." He's like,
Like a fucking cartoon character.
yeah.
That's so funny. Like the appropriate reaction to that is who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
Like or like leave
but
or whatever.
but it's funny too because he's like
Call him a faggot and you win. Like
yeah.
I mean,
But the funny thing, Sam Tripoli, he's this conspiracy theorist guy, but all his conspiracy theories are like fucking the CIA killed JFK. It's like, okay, like gay. You're not Nick Fuentes, dude. You're not fucking. You're not Kanye saying talking about the Jews. Like,
it,
come on,
by the way,
settle down.
ethnically is Nick Fuentes because Fuentes sounds very like
He's Mexican,
right. He's like
but he's like me. He's mostly Spanish with a tiny smidgen of indigenous. He's like me.
white, basically, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Okay, okay yeah.
Me and Nick Fuentes are pretty much the same.
Say that again.
Me and Nick Fuentes, I'm not lying. He's the same as me ethnically. His ethnic
uh,
background. So yeah.
same your ethnic views, yeah. Anyway,
But I've actually been watching a lot of his videos
have
recently
you?
too. Yeah, because he has because I've never really watched his videos. I've been watching because he has a lot of videos. You have to go on Rumble though to watch them, but
I'm not getting a Rumble account or anything.
I don't have an account, but I go on there. But
Oh, I thought it was kind of like you had to not pay necessarily, but you had to
I have
like
to piss so bad, dude. Hold up.
again.
Yeah, I've been
Oh,
drinking beer all night. So
go ahead and whatever. I'll
I have to pee really bad.
fuck off.
Oh man. Oh.
He's back.
Yeah, but no, I've been watching his videos. Uh, he's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. Like I actually like his videos. And cause he's one of those guys like that's like you know even your most of even your edgiest guys would be like, oh, Nick Fuentes, like stay away
Really?
from him. Yeah, a lot of people are like that. They're like, stay away from. He's fucking hilarious.
What's like he just doesn't like black people, right? Is that like
No,
no?
well, the Jews.
Right, but like okay,
He
well
likes
like
black people.
he likes
well, he
Kanye.
says this himself. He says this himself. He doesn't. He says he doesn't consider himself. I don't know how much of this is true, but he says he doesn't consider himself an anti-Semite necessarily, but he just doesn't like Zionism and things like that, and and so
I mean, yeah. I mean, you
and,
know, whatever.
and it
It's
became a
like
shtick. If I'm talking about the Jews, became a shtick. That's what he was famous for, but he always jokes about the Jews and stuff. But no, he jokes about pretty much everybody. Well, Nick Fuentes says he doesn't like, which I. That's why he's like me. He doesn't like wasps either. He doesn't really like wasps. He thinks his kind of ethnic makeup is superior. Like
His
me.
makeup.
Yeah,
Ay, Dios mío.
and I think that's why I like him too because I do kind of uh I don't want to use the word relate, but kind of like I can tell he's kind of a similar background as me and kind of similar fan like this a lot of stuff he gets into like a lot of people might not really understand. So like uh, he was talking about this on one of his videos. He was saying that well, he's talking about wasps or whatever, and he was saying
Mm-hmm.
that because Nick, he's white and well, I'm white too, but he was saying how like white people that are eth- white people that are ethnic or more ethnic and stuff, we don't. He's just saying we don't relate to wasps and that we are very different. And he was just talking about how wasps tend to be more uh they tend to be more, what's the word, I don't know, pacifist maybe is the right word. Yeah, pacifist, like kind of like they tend to be light-hearted,
I
more
think British, basically.
yeah, like very much light, like passive kind of. um he said that ethnic people, including ethnic, white people and stuff, they have more of a there's more of an aggression, but also yeah, kind of more of an aggression towards it to them, or kind of more they kind of, I think it's because they understand a struggle a bit more, or their backgrounds mostly struggle, and so they have more of a, there's almost more of an alphaness to them, or like that's why a lot of Hispanics, that's why Hispanics, Italians, and like blacks are usually like very machismo, very macho, like
Right.
yeah, and so that's what he's kind of talking about, how it's more, even like Russian people stuff, more machismo, more, that's just an ethnic thing. It's more of they're more tough love kind of, and how they're raised and stuff, and so that's kind of what he was talking about, and I relate to that because that's, I've always felt like that in my life. That's why I never really related to like quote unquote, I guess, wasp pretty much, but regular white. I never really related to them. I always felt like they were kind of weak. Even when I was a kid, I couldn't articulate it very well, but I always got like a weird intuitive sense that these people are kind of weak or whatever compared to me, or there's like this kind of weakness I detect, and that's why all my friends in, like I said, high school, like I only hung around, and, I only hung around Hispanic and Slavic kids. That's all I hung around with in high school, and so and
Right.
they were all like that. They were not beta type. They were all like into sports, into flashy clothes,
Ada.
into
Mhm.
very machismo, into girls being sexist. Like that's what I was. And so that's what he was talking about. How that is, that if you're ethnic white, like that's your kind of background. So you don't really relate to the squeaky clean kind of
Yeah.
nice background, sort of, but
You,
and
you
you don't
you
really,
from
you
the
have a harder
hood.
time relating to those type of people and stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
but his videos are pretty funny. But his rant on Oliver Anthony, remember that ginger country guy, the North Richmond guy? He did that. Remember that video of the ginger playing the banjo that all the
is that
conservatives
is
don't?
that what that was?
Yeah.
I still don't really know what any of that
Remember
is.
the line in the song about, and
I
all
never
they
listened to
care
it.
about is miners on an island or something.
And all they
There's that
care about is
Epstein line in the song.
oh miners on an. I was actually thinking of like with the pickaxes.
Yeah, no, it was
Like,
like a
is there a lot
pun.
of
It was
mine?
like a double entendre he did in the song. He was saying something, but his rant on it is
Rich,
hilarious. But uh,
Rich did they talk about that on Red Scare? I might have like
yeah,
I
they
don't know.
did.
I don't I don't know. I gotta re-listen to that app. Maybe I missed that part or like zoned out. I don't know, but um, I don't know. I don't care about that. It didn't look interesting. I always see it on YouTube, and I'm just like, who's this fat ginger? Like
The conservatives, like Daily Wire, they were creaming over it. They're like,
they
oh,
liked it a lot.
what's his name? What's the guy that made that? He has the same last name as my grandma. Matt Walsh. He um he was like, this is the protest song of the century.
The protest song of the century. Okay, dude. Like
And by the way, Oliver Anthony too, he came out and he's like, I'm not even a conservative. or liberal. Like he's like apolitical. He's like, this is funny, and he actually laughed about it. He's like, this is funny. Like I don't even like these Republican guys, but they're all like,
But he didn't look like
well, in the
I don't
song,
know.
if you listen to the lyrics, it is true. Like he was going. Actually, most of the people he's going against in the song were like probably Republican types, like rich Republic. That's who he was going
Now
against.
Richmond, north of Richmond, who's this? What? Who are they?
It's pretty much rich people that live in like Northern Virginia.
Okay, that's so weird. Like,
It's a lame song. I hate the song. I don't like
I
his
don't,
music, but
I don't know.
the and I don't think it should have been as famous as it became, but no, it is funny because and I guess those people that live there, you know, the rich, they are like Republican usually. They're not Democrats or anything, but it's funny that the Republicans are like the classic like you know neocon type Republicans are like, oh my god, this song is
Yeah,
great. It's kind of ripping on them, sort of.
yeah,
But I agree with him about Oliver Anthony because Oliver Anthony cosplays as like I'm a I'm a I'm a redneck that lives in a trailer. I'm true white trash. I'm a real American, down in the mud American. But he has this like expensive camera crew around him. He has all this
yeah.
high production and stuff.
He has a makeup girl.
And I agree with Nick Fuentes. Like we need to stop idolizing, especially for like conservatives. Need to really stop idolizing like the white trash and so like we really need to stop. He's like we should be better than this. We need to. Like,
I think that conservatives should and here I am aping the perfume nationalists or whatever, but I think that conservatives should get into like art movies and stuff.
mm-hmm.
I think that like and not just like the like fucking like I watch Citizen Kane or something like kind of shit. I mean like they should watch like fucking Out One or some shit and like
Well,
Berlin
I think
Alexander.
conservatives are, and there's a few conservative artists, but they in general are very uniquely creative, and also they
Finish it.
legit conserve like open, not but they're uniquely creative. They have really good minds. Like I'm just thinking about top of my head, like Vincent Gallo.
Gallo, of
You could
course.
say Morrissey,
Mishima.
Mishima. Yeah, I say they're very,
There's a couple that are like the
and
next
that's
level
why I do
guys.
like I'll put even though he's not really an artist because he's a streamer entertainer type. That's how I kind of got into Nick Fuentes. Like I kind of view him in that kind of guy, Nick Fuentes. Like,
You put Nick
but his
Fuentes on the
humor, his
level of
comedy and stuff,
Mishima.
his humor. No, I don't put him in that pedestal, but I put him in that kind of category, like kind of unique, kind of his humor and stuff. When
I
conservatives are
get
into
that.
action, when legit conservatives or that kind of mindset or into comedy or art, they're really good at it or very perfected. I'm not talking about the Ben Shapiro fucking lame,
No, obviously, yeah.
but when they're kind of fringe on the fringe, kind of weird, like
That yeah, I agree
fringe
with
kind of
that. I agree that
yeah,
they do tend to be outside of the box,
yeah.
like real thinker
And
types.
I've watched some of his Nick's videos. Some of his, where he's actually not really that comedic, and he's not even talking about politics. He's talking about life stuff. He's a very introspective person, like very like legit. That's what's funny too, because these people kind of fascinate me. Like people that aren't. That's what we're saying. They aren't art. Like Nick, he's not like a filmmaker or artist or anything. But when you hear him talk about life and like in a serious manner, not he's like he is that type of person. He does have the artist. He is that person, but he's
He's
just
a sensitive,
yeah. But
like
he
person.
doesn't make that. But he could easily.
I
But
think
he
so.
just doesn't. But those people kind of fascinate me. We have five
I
minutes till New
agree.
Year's. 5 minutes till New Year's. Do you know who?
Is it? Wait, it's more like for me. It's 11:53.
It's
What?
11:55, or yeah, it's 11:53. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're rocking. You know, I'm just gonna fucking. I was gonna bow out like a little while ago, but I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna take it into the new year with you, and then I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, I'll probably end this too, probably when that
Yeah.
ends. But uh, what was I gonna say about Nick Fuent? Do you know who uh John Azurka is?
No. Who?
I've talked about him.
I know you have. I know. Look, I'm sorry. It takes me like it's only
Yeah,
taken me
and you
this
have to
long.
watch a lot of videos and stuff to kind of, and the particular videos, and yeah. But he's someone that he's kind of on the downhill right now. He's kind of like not, his content hasn't been that good lately. It's kind of, he's kind of burning himself out. He really needs to switch up things, but he's somebody who uh it's funny because he's made videos with Nick Fuentes, but he's somebody that's also another person. I know I'm the only, probably one of the only few people that notices this too. He's in that same category. He's a guy who makes these type of videos and stuff, but uh when I followed him, like his kind of career and stuff, I'm like, oh, he is that kind of, like he's saying, like sensitive artist, but it's not. He doesn't make that type of stuff, but it kind of comes out, sort of. But even though he said when he was younger, like a kid and stuff, he said that he did make art, like he painted and he drew and stuff. So that is was his background for videos. He was that guy, and so that's why you watch his videos, his and stuff. It transcends. Like he doesn't show up. He shows up in like sleazy podcasts and stuff, but it shows up in those videos. That's why he sticks out like a sore thumb, because he's above everybody else because he has an artist brain. Everybody else is not, doesn't have the artist brain. When he shows up, he does. That's why you could tell he thinks like an artist and stuff. And but anyways, he's a uh he was a live streamer or whatever. He just did stuff like this where he's like watching videos and stuff. That's what he started out as, and then
Mm-hmm.
um and then he got like taken down on Twitch because he said some things or whatever. He's one of those, and then he started doing YouTube where he started appearing on every podcast in existence, and his whole shtick is like the kind of like alpha male, like Chad. He's like
Okay.
he looks like a Giga Chad, and
Does
like,
he?
and he's Albanian, and so he's like an Albanian Giga Chad. God. And but he's really funny though.
Yeah.
um I like his sense of humor and stuff, and I guess he
But you
has his
say
own.
he's on the downslide now. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Is
he's
that what?
he's on a downfall because he did a video where he embarrassed himself in public where he got beaten up by a guy,
You did a
and
video where he got beat up?
yeah, he
Like,
got beaten up by a guy in public.
well, and he like just got his ass kicked and didn't
Yeah,
do it.
because he said that he was gonna kick the guy's ass, and then he got beaten up by the guy,
That's a shame. But
including
I mean, he
lost.
posted it. He can only blame himself.
He's kind of on the downfall because, and even when that video, before that video, his videos haven't been that good, like in 5 months or whatever,
Oh,
because he kind of he didn't sell his soul, but like he started appearing on people's like podcasts or lives that are like really big, and kind of like not doing much or not saying much, kind of like he's just there to soak in attention, but he's not really doing anything creative or funny or anything. And people, all his fans and stuff have like been critiquing him over that. But anyways, his older videos and stuff are really funny, really good. He does 4 hour videos about Masonic literature, and he's a
cute.
fake. He's a flat earther. He's been in flat Earth debates, and yeah, he's really funny, but he has a very unique sense of humor and stuff. But what was I gonna say about him? I had to bring him up, but I was saying he's one of those guys though. If you kept track of his career and like seen his videos, he's one of those guys that's. I was saying he's an artist, like, but he doesn't like make art, like high art or anything. He just does like performance stuff pretty much. But um yeah, but like when he's on like podcasts and stuff, like he's been on Adam 22's podcast and stuff. When he's there with a room of people, you can tell he's the artist. Everybody else is not thinking like that. He's thinking in like that's why his sense of humor is really weird and actually funny. He thinks in a very artistic way, you know.
Yeah. He's a special boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's an Albanian Giga Chad. And he talks like this.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure. I know. Anytime anyone starts talking like that, I start losing interest. I'm sorry.
But his videos are pretty funny though. But
yeah.
John Zerka, I would plug him with. I would recommend Red Bar before anybody else that I plug. But
Yeah,
John
Red Bar
Zerka's
sings
funny.
like probably the most on my alley. 1 minute to midnight.
Yep.
I just saw. Okay, yeah.
There's 3 people watching. Ah, counting down.
Hey guys. Oh my god. Hi. We haven't talked any New Year stuff. What are your resolutions?
My resolutions are. It's pretty much. Do focus on more ambitious projects rather than just side projects.
Right.
Just being more present in general, taking more risks, and retiring a lot of old tropes in my life or in content in general.
That's a pretty good list. I don't really have a list. I want to write a script. And Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Ash. Hello. Hi.
Can you hear the fireworks outside?
Is that what those were? I thought someone
Yeah.
was like drumming next door on like a bucket. Happy New Year. Wow. Happy New Year. I'm on low.
We're in the mid 2020s now.
Yeah, I guess we are, and it does feel mid. A little humor, a little wordplay, to bring in the new year.
This is literally like a new. I feel like this is actually going to be the new era.
Do you? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go. I gotta. Do you feel like it's gonna be a new era?
I actually do.
Just a vibe.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to be an overnight thing, but yeah, I think we're going to look back on this year and be like, oh yeah, this is way different than like let's say 2022 or something like that. Like this is way different. I think.
All right.
Because we also have, I think the presidency election coming up. There's
Let's see what happens
in the world. That I think there's a lot of shit that's going to go down in the world.
You were right last time.
I also think our culture in general is going to be, we're going to see some shifts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some different things.
I could believe it. I don't know. I'm curious.
I think in my life, this year is going to be very different from previous years. So,
I just hope I have a nice year. Don't you? I hope you have a nice year.
I actually liked 2023. The beginning of 2023 I didn't like, but that's because I had to do with my living situation. But
right. All right. I gotta go.
All right.
You gotta go.
Happy New Year.
Okay. Happy New Year, and to everyone watching, and everyone who will watch in the future, and everyone, and this dog. Happy New Year.
Yep.
All right. This was fun. I like this.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.